Media Day for Williamson County for basketball. Special thanks to Walker Chevrolet. We got our guy Bobby Borbeck here. Also Matthews Team Sports, our sound guy Lance West, and also Will Jackson for setting up the live stream here. We're going to start with Franklin High School. We've got Coach Rachel Shaw, who's in her 4th season, joined by Cecily Brandamore, a senior that is committed to Missouri. And for the boys, we've got Jason Tigert in his 7th season, joined by junior guard Cole Kaiser. We'll open it up with the coaches, give an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions. Coach Shaw, Coach Tigert.
All right. Thanks for having us, Patrick. Appreciate it. Always exciting time of year. Coming to media night, this is where it really starts to feel real. And so we've had a good opening week of practice, learned some things this past weekend at a play day up at Brentwood, and just really looking forward to continuing to compete and get better. I like my group. We don't have a lot of floor experience coming back, but we've got a lot of program guys, as I call them, guys that have been in the system for a while. They've been waiting their turn, and they're going to have their opportunity to get out on the floor this year. So, like I said, we don't have a lot of floor experience, but we got a lot of program experience, and we're hoping that's going to pay dividends for us this season.
All right. I'm Rachel Shaw. I am very excited for the start of this season. I actually got interviewed today from some of our school students about a Franklin and 5 show, and they said, "What's your favorite part of the season?" I said, "It's basketball season. It's like Christmas every single day." So this is the stuff we've been waiting for. The girls have been grinding all preseason long, and now we get to put everyone together on the floor and just see kind of what we're made of. We lost one senior last year, so we are heavy with returners. We are ready to, we didn't miss a beat at the start of the season. Usually it takes time for teaching and going slow with things, but the girls have jumped right into pace, and we've been able to put in our plays and get really cranking. So the start of our season has started off really well. I'm really looking forward to the new district and just playing with teams that we've been battling for the past couple of years. I think we've got a strong backcourt, strong front court, and I think we're excited to take any opponent we got coming.
All right, we'll open it up to questions.
Well, Chip Cirillo here from the Williamson scene. Coach, this is for both coaches actually. How many starters do you have back, and what do you think about your chances for a good showing in the district or this year?
We return one starter, so we lost quite a bit of our game production. We have a couple starts from one full-time starter returning and another guard that got some starts. Like I said in my opening statement, not a ton of game experience, but with guys that have been around and like we know what we're doing. It's not it's not a complete overhaul from a system standpoint. Yes, we don't have that rim protection just hanging around the rim with Christian Brown being gone, but from a system standpoint, the language that we talk, the terminology, guys are very familiar with that. So even though we did lose a lot of starters, we still, it's not like a complete start over by any stretch.
On the girls' side, like I said, we graduated one senior. So we're turning 4 starters, and the next starter up in line got a little bit of starting time towards the end of the season just because of injuries and the way things were flowing. So like I said before, we're not really going to miss a beat. We're ready to go starting out the gate.
First question is for Coach Shaw. Coach Shaw, you were a player at Franklin. How do you feel like that gives you a different perspective from a lot of the other coaches in the county? And then also, does the team play the style you did on the court?
Yeah, well, I am an alumni from Franklin. I think that just says I have a little bit more passion about it. My blood, sweat, and tears were in that floor from a player perspective, and now I'm putting it as a coaching perspective. Another thing that I think has helped with me is I am passionate about the school. I love the program. I love our girls. We have not had a lot of consistency with coaches over the past decade. It seems like there's a 3-year curse. Coaches will last for 3 years, and then they'll leave. So I am the first coach to stay. This is the 4th year, so I'll be the first coach to stay in over 10 years to break that streak. So I think I'm passionate about it. I love Franklin High School. I love the girls, and I want to build a winning culture and give back everything that it gave to me. We also have another assistant coach, Coach Kate Bennett this year. She's also an alumni, so I think that says a lot too, is like we like to come back to our programs, and I think that's just going to help us build and grow, and hopefully maybe one day players will come back and coach with us if we're still here. So I think, the longevity of things, I think it's the passion, it's the love, it's the culture, it's the fight. And I think that's something that I've transitioned over. I'm definitely a defensive-minded player whenever I was playing in high school and college. And I think that's something that we like to say as Franklin. We've got a lot of heart and a lot of grit, especially it starts on the defensive side. That's what got a lot of our offense going, is us pushing the ball or pushing our opponents to be uncomfortable on the defensive end. And a lot of our full court really got teams uncomfortable, and it sparked things in us. So that's the carryover from player to coach, and what I try to instill is that heart and that grit on the court.
And then next question is for Cecily. Cecily, you've started every year, or have had an impact for your team every year. How do you feel like that experience has helped grow in your game? And then obviously, you have a big impact on the glass and points-wise with double-doubles. How much pride do you take in your game as well?
Well, first of all, I would like to give all the glory to God, since he has given me the ability to have just the blessings and the talent that I have. And I think that it just helps our girls a lot to have experience. Like Coach Shaw said, we have a lot of returners, so just having that court awareness and not missing that chemistry has been super, super helpful to not slow up our practices. It's obviously, we have a lot of new freshmen, but they're learning really, really fast, faster than we did as freshmen.
For the coaches first, I know it sounds like everybody brings this up every year, but 3 years ago, the TSSAA tabled the shot clock discussion for 3 more years, so we're kind of coming up on that time where it could start to pick up again. What are your thoughts on a potential, you want a shot clock or not?
I'm anti-shot clock, by no stretch in favor of adding it. It's a very complicated issue. It's not as simple as just simply we got a shot clock. You got to have personnel that are trained and willing to work it. There's costs involved. We could easily do it at Franklin High School. We could easily do it in Williamson County, but I've worked in other districts. I see things you don't have necessarily all the resources that we have here. So for the state of Tennessee, I just don't think it's necessary. I like the product that we put out there now. We've experimented with it. I didn't think it brought a lot to the table. Plus, I like to hold the basketball when we've got leads, as did our county athletic director.
I was about to say, I don't care either way. For the girls' side, I don't think any team's really holding the ball for longer than 30 or 35 seconds. So I don't think it really have that much impact on the game. And we don't do stall ball. So I got nothing. Well,
and then teams need to get out there and guard somebody. If they want to turn you over, they need to get the basketball back. Let's go defend. So just to think that the shot clock's going to bring some magical and make the game that much better, that's just not a reality.
For both,
I'm not going to be able to slow her down, so there's no point of putting a shot clock in.
For both players, have you ever over the summer in any other kind of event played with a shot clock? And if so, what did you think about it?
I did during AU season on the Under Armour circuit, and it didn't really affect the game that much. It didn't really change it. I didn't think it was necessary really, but yeah, not really that big into it.
I played with it. I played out of a Nike circuit, and I think it made it faster, but in AAU, the just speed in general is faster, so in high school, I don't think it would carry over that differently.
And for Coach Shaw, what do you feel like are the best parts of Cecily's game? What makes her sort of an elite player?
Cecily Brandamore.
Don't-
I mean, she's a jack of all trades. She's developed her game so much. The growth that she's had from freshman year to senior year has been tremendous. It's really been a joy to watch her grow as a player, not only in her skill development, but in the mental aspect of the game, because basketball is all the things in between the ears. So watching her grow in physical strength, mental strength, everything has been awesome. She's going to be the player to beat this season, and good luck to all the other teams.
All right, this is for the players. Who are some other people we need to watch out for on your team this year?
A guy on our team that people should look out for is Colin Robinson. He's really shifty guard, quick, can defend, he can shoot, he can create for others. Also, Conrad Jones, he's an elite shooter. He'll be looking to shoot some threes this year and make some noise for us. And Carson Vaughn, he's very long defender, gives it his all, works hard. That's who y'all should look out for.
You guys should look out for Molly Forrest. She's a really good post. She's running quick and always knows where to pass. Mary Henson also knows how to pass really well, threading a needle right through. You don't even know where that pass is going to go. But Perry, our point guard, is getting better about handling pressure and really just tough situations in varsity and having that experience. So we just have a bunch of guards this year.
All right. Also for the players, any unique coach sayings or quirks that your coaches have?
Not really unusual, but we have like a motto every year. Last year ours was iron sharpens iron. Like we have to give it our all every day and make each other better in practice. And this year our motto is Alpha and Omega. So it's the start and the end. So we got everything in between the start and the end. We got to give it our all.
Well, my least favorite one is probably baseline because we don't really like to hear that one very often. But it's really just like work hard, keep going, you got it. Just a lot of confidence building in our program.
All right, this one's for the coaches. How do you guys feel like the last several years you've had all the Williamson County schools together in your district? Now it's split in half. Any opinions on that, splitting into a 5-team and now a 4-team district?
Yeah, very disappointing. I liked the much larger league. I liked playing everybody in Williamson County twice. I'm not a fan of 4- and 5-team leagues where district tournaments are irrelevant. So I much prefer the system before where we were all together.
I agree. I think Williamson County is a very special community, and by separating the districts, we just lose some of that charm and that joy because we have a lot of community members that have no affiliations with the schools anymore, but they just want to come and support. And I think by breaking up the district, it'll actually hurt some of our community strength and fan base because of it. I think we should go back to the original 8. I know Fairview being smaller, they're not involved in it, but I think that original 8 group is just a core good district to have.
Let's talk about your schedule preseason. Obviously, we know you're going to play all the Williamson County teams at some point. Are there any big matchups you have in November, December that you're really looking forward to?
Well, we always love competing against Hillsboro. That's been a lot of fun over the years. Them being the defending state champions adds a little bit more to that. So that's a matchup. Super excited. Got a road game. Warren County returns a lot. This is a team that we eliminated last year. They basically return all their production, and they're expecting big things down there. So to take a long road game and what we anticipate to be a hostile environment down there in McMinnville should be a lot of fun. And as usual, a tough Williamson County schedule is always fun. Night in and night out.
I'm excited to play Coffee County again. They were the ones that knocked us out last year, and I think with the players we got coming back and the grit and the heart, I think it'll be a different story this year. So I'm most excited about them.
All right, and we'll wrap it up with one for the players. Who do you look forward to playing most this season?
So when I play, who I look, Brentwood, obviously, they're like the big dogs in our district this year. They're the ones expecting to win everything. So I think if we can come out and beat them, I want to show everybody that we can beat them, and we can.
I think on the girls' side, it's probably Nolanville. They were a lot like us. They didn't really lose anybody, and so coming out, we'll have to play strong to beat them.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Franklin Admirals, we appreciate you guys being here and hope you have a great season.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have the Centennial Cougars. The girls are led by Weston Ford in his first year at Centennial, and he's joined by senior forward Quincy Anderson. The boys are led by Sloan Starkey in his first year at Centennial, and joined by all-district senior guard Carter Ezel. Coaches will give you an opportunity to give a 1 minute or 1 to 2 minute opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, Coach Starkey here. First of all, thank you, Coach Whitlock, for putting a spotlight on our programs and our players. Any chance we get to spotlight these young men and young women, we need to take advantage of that. So thank you, Coach Whitlock, for that. There's two things that kind of stand out with Centennial basketball. First of all is we're young in our experience. Not necessarily young in age, but young in our experience. We're going to start 4 seniors and 1 junior. And really the only one that has meaningful varsity minutes is this young man standing next to me. Everybody else is really lacking in that experience. I think about guys like Matt Barton, who may have played some substantial minutes last year, but he's going to be put in a position that he's never been put in for varsity basketball. So we're going to expect a lot out of Matt Barton. Burt Keaton is another guy that comes to mind. Again, did not play any real meaningful minutes last year as a sophomore, and this year he's going to have to do a lot for us to be successful. Izzy, another guy that comes to mind. He didn't play any minutes at all last year. And then Carter Souls is our 5th starter. Again, another young man that has not played varsity minutes. So young in experience for sure. But with that, I think the biggest thing that kind of stands out to me is we're hungry. These guys are super hungry. We had an incredible training camp. We scrimmaged this weekend, and it went very well for us. So I think about these guys, and these guys are ready from what it looks like. Driven and hungry is the two things that really stand out. I know this much. If we have Carter as our leader, we're going to be in a really good spot. I've been doing this for 16 years now, and I have not been around a more well-rounded student athlete in Carter. So we're in a good spot.
For me, I'm just super, super blessed to be able to be a part of the Centennial family. I think we have the potential to create something really special at Centennial, and I'm really, really looking forward to being a part of that. And a lot of that's going to be driven by our seniors. We're starting 4 seniors and 1 freshman. Quincy is a team captain, and she's been a very good vocal leader within the program, and really helped me get comfortable with things. But I'm super, super excited, super blessed to be able to be a part of this family.
All right, we'll open it up for questions. So I'll start. Coaches, talk about some of your, you kind of mentioned your opening statements, but talk about some key personnel and maybe what you think is the floor for this team and the ceiling as well.
Well, like I said, Carter's our guy. He's impressed me every single day. From day one, he was involved in the interview process, so he sat on the interview panel when I got interviewed, and there's not a lot of kids, young men, that can handle a situation like that. So right off the bat, I'm impressed already. And then every day, I'm impressed by him in multiple ways. He's the leader of our student section. The young man's test scores are through the roof. His GPA is through the roof. And then he's got an absolute flamethrower of a 3-ball. So, and then when you think you can't be any more impressed, you look up at a pep rally, and he's over there playing the xylophone. So, like I said, if we got kids like this in our program that are leading the way, I'm confident we're going to be in a really good spot.
For the girls, we're going to be relying heavily on our seniors from their leadership. I don't think anybody in this county, in this district and region is really expecting us to do much, which I think really opens up the opportunity for us to surprise a lot of people. Like I said, we got 4 seniors, 1 freshman. We're going to rely heavily on our freshmen and Quincy as our bigs. We got some size, so we're really, really going to try to pound it in the post. But again, nobody's expecting us to do anything, so the floor is really, really low, but there's a large gap between that floor and that ceiling, and I think we can get really, really close up there.
All right, this is for the players. Both of you are experiencing new coaches. Talk about what that transition's been like, maybe some of the differences you've seen so far, and how they've coached you and what your expectations are.
Like our coach said, I was lucky enough to be on the interview panel. And so right off the bat, Coach Starkey was my guy. We got to chop it up a little bit before the interview started, and I could tell this is the guy we wanted to be around. Already super organized. We hit the ground running first week before and after school, trying to make up for the missed summer opportunities we had. But yeah, he's been hitting the ground running. We've been working hard in practice, and so I think Coach Starkey's gonna be great for Centennial for the next, hopefully, a long time.
I'll definitely say having Ford, he's our 3rd coach for the girls Centennial team, but definitely there's a difference. So much energy with him, but definitely has helped. It's been great. We've definitely bonded more as a team. Same situation. We didn't have a lot of summertime together, but we're definitely rebuilding, and I can definitely see that we're going to go really far this year.
Coaches, talk about, since you're both in your first year, what was attractive about taking the Centennial job and what makes that, a place you want to be at?
For me, I was in a position where I wasn't actually going to try to coach. I was just recently getting off of being married, trying to kind of start my family, and I was really, really focusing on that. But Coach Whitlock reached out to me and drew a lot of attention to the program that I hadn't realized. Met with the principal, met with the athletic director, and just really, really appreciated the intent that they had towards these programs. And that drew me in as a coach. As a coach, when you have the support of the admin, it makes the world of a difference. So I really felt like the Lord was calling me to come into Centennial and coach there. And since I've accepted it, it's been nothing but It's been fantastic. It's been great.
Yeah, for me, Dr. Glass was key in coming to Centennial. I had great conversations with Dr. Glass. Centennial is in a great spot athletically. They produce really good teams in Williamson County, 4A basketball, and so conversations with Dr. Glass and just the reputation that precedes Centennial and Williamson County is what drew me here.
I guess we'll start with Coach Sloan first. Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. Coach Sloan, you had previous success on head coaching at Newman International Academy in Texas.
Right.
Won 2 state titles. How do you feel like that experience helps you with the Centennial job?
Yeah, I think that experience taught me how hard it is to win at that level. There's a lot that goes into it, but like I've talked about with these young men, is as long as we have hard work at the center of everything we do and toughness at the center of everything we do, then whatever we choose to do from there, we can be successful. And so that experience, 4 state runs and two championships, man, just really turned me on to the fact that we got to get a lot of things right, but hard work has to be at the middle of it.
Next question is for Carter. Carter, you're one of the more experienced guards on the team. I guess, how do you expect to lead your program and a program that expects excellence in basketball? And obviously, what kind of leadership role do you want to take for the team?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I'm a good enough leader yet. I'm still trying to work on, like, when things are going well, it's kind of easy to lead. If shots are going in or there's momentum, it's easy to be a good leader. But when adversity hits, that's kind of when I want to improve. Sometimes it's easy to put your head down or get a bad attitude or whatever, but continue to be consistent for the guys, continue to put the team first, be the encourager that I need to be. That's kind of what I want to work on. So.
And then final question for Coach Weston. This is your first season. How do you want to build and mold the Centennial girls basketball program?
So starting out, we've established what we want to be our 4 core principles. They're toughness, unity, accountability, and growth-minded. And so everything that we're going to try to do with the mindset of at least those 4 things. So just trying to build a culture is kind of top priority for me this year. We're going to do everything we can to try to win with what we got, but we're definitely focusing on trying to build that culture and utilizing those 4 core principles.
And for both coaches, who do you feel like is the most underrated player in your team?
Underrated? Mm-hmm. I could probably name 6 guys that are severely underrated. Carter Souls is underrated. Matt Barton is underrated. Izzy Rosales is underrated. Burton Keek is underrated. And honestly, this guy, you could put this guy in that category as well. He played, I won't call it a backseat, but a lot of the offense ran through 2 other guys, whereas this year, this young man right here is going to absolutely light it up. So, yeah, there's a lot of Centennial basketball players you could put in that category. Good question.
For me, I'd say my whole team. They had 1 win last year. Like I said at the beginning, nobody's expecting us to do anything. So we're going to come into every gym, and they're going to think they're going to blow us out. And we're going to play to that advantage. We're going to play to the fact that we may not get the best from everybody because they don't think they got to give it to us. So, again, I'd say everybody on my team is going to be underrated, and we're going to come out and we're going to pop some people in the mouth, and we're going to show them that they need to respect us.
For the coaches, the TWSAA tabled the shot clock discussion 3 years ago, and here we are 3 years later. They said they were going to wait till 2026 to talk about it again. What are your thoughts? Would you like one? Would you like to keep it the same?
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with Tigert there. It's administratively pretty difficult for a lot of schools, and it really only accounts for very few possessions within the game. I'm a big fan of getting a 5-second call on defense. And so that's something to celebrate on defense, and that goes away with the shot clock. So I think I lean – I don't know. I think I lean more away from it, not necessarily to have the opportunity to slow the game down because that's not what we want. we definitely want to keep the game up tempo and fast. But implementing 35 seconds, I don't necessarily accomplishes that goal.
I love it. I'm all for it. I differ with Coach Sloan on this one. I just think I love it when the rules in high school are very similar to the rules everywhere else. I think basketball is one of the unique sports that things trickle down from the top. So whatever is popular in the NBA, give it a few years, it's going to be popular in college. Give it a few years, it's going to be popular in high school. And I really think that a shot clock, I don't think it'll necessarily speed the game up, but I think it allows us coaches to be able to be a little bit more, rely a little bit more on strategy and really utilize a scouting report to our advantage. So I'm for it in a selfish way, but from an admin side, I do understand the difficulty of it, the logistics behind it. I understand it, but in a selfish manner, I think it could be really good.
For the players, have you ever played in an event like over the summer with a shot clock, and did you like it? Would you prefer it?
I have not played with any event that had a shot clock, but I have seen I've seen women play women's basketball playing with shot clock, and I definitely do agree with our coach. I think it will give us more of a chance to do more like strategic work. So I definitely think that would be great for the girls. I know women's basketball can sometimes be a little bit of a slower pace, so I think speeding that up will really help us work on some of the little things that we don't really see when it's a slower game.
Yeah, I've also not played with a shot clock, but I can see it both ways. It changes the game a whole lot, right? You have grenades that you have to throw up at the end of the shot clock and just different strategic things like they were talking about. Me personally, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go play basketball, try to win. So shot clock or not, it's whatever. Take it or leave it.
Thanks, guys.
This question's for Quincy. Last year you were on a team that struggled a little bit and had just 8 players, and now you got a full complement and roster. Talk about the renewed enthusiasm in the Centennial program.
Yeah, definitely going from having 8 players to being very much like going into every game not knowing who was going to be there or not, having 13 girls on the team, it's really great. Definitely seeing a lot more enthusiasm. The girls are excited to play. We just had a scrimmage last night and where we played 2 different teams, and definitely I saw the improvement, and I saw how our girls are working together and how we're coming together as a team, so it's really great to see it, and I'm really excited for the season to see how far we go.
All right, this is for the coaches, just in terms of preseason schedule. Any games you have, just talk about your preseason schedule and how that's going to prepare you for the rigors of district play.
For us, like she talked about, we had 2 scrimmages last night, 2 very different types of teams that we played. So it allowed us to really see how our kids respond in different types of scenarios. Got, again, scrimmages coming up where we're going to be playing some very athletic, talented teams. So we tried to mix it up as far as the level of competition that we're going to be facing to really throw a ton of different looks at the girls to help them gain as much experience as we can. So when we get deep into the district schedule, playing the Brentwoods, the Nolanville, we'll see. We got the experience to be able to go into it and stay composed.
For us, the home opener is going to be a true test. We bring Hume Fogg into the house for our home opener, and they're a 3A state tournament team, so that's going to tell us a lot in that game.
All right, we'll wrap it up with one for the players. Is there a game you guys have circled on your calendar this year that you're really looking for?
I don't know. Any district game is super exciting to me. In the past, they've all been super close games. Anyone can beat anyone in our district last couple years. So, staying super locked in for every single game, not getting lazy on any of them or underestimating any teams. So, any district game is what I'm looking forward to.
I'm definitely looking forward to playing Ravenwood and Summit. Those were 2 teams that I definitely think last year we should have met them a little bit closer. We kind of fell short a little bit there. So I'm definitely excited to replay them. New coach, new team. I'm ready to take this new attitude and go into it with the district. So I'm really excited to play those teams.
All right, we'd like to thank you guys, the Centennial Cougars. Hope you guys have a great season, and thanks for being here tonight. All right, next up we have the Brentwood Bruins. The girls are led by Coach John Wilkins in his second year, and he's joined by senior Paige Morris. And the boys are led by Coach Troy Crane in his second year as the head coach at Brentwood, and is joined by senior guard Hudson McKnight, who stole my haircut, but that's all right. So, coaches, we're going to open up with an opening statement, and then we will have some questions.
Appreciate you having us, Coach. Excited for second year here at Brentwood. Got Paige Morris here with me, who's been a 3-year starter, I would say. 4-year starter. Okay, some of that predated me, but 4-year starter and a dual sport athlete at Brentwood, and she's a great representative of our program. She did help us out last year and did a lot of great things for us to kind of get the ball started in some of the direction that we want our program to go. But just excited for another year, and we're going to lean on her leadership a lot this season.
Also appreciate you having us out. Going into this year, we got a lot of excitement in our program. We've got 9 of our top 10 guys returning, and we had a relatively young team last year, so we had a lot of inexperience, and I really felt like those guys getting the experience and getting a lot of minutes, and some of the guys that we're going to be calling upon this year to provide us some spark off the bench. I thought they logged some quality minutes to be able to help us, especially when we get down the stretch in the district play. 21-7 last year. A lot of people, were talking about how good of a year it was, but I can just tell you from my standpoint, I know the guy beside me and the guys that's out here tonight, we really felt like our season ended prematurely. That sting, it lasted a long time being one and done in postseason. It really did, and it felt like it took forever to be able to get to today, to be able to kind of really officially kind of get the season started. And we've had 3 scrimmages under our belt thus far, and we get to tip it off next Tuesday at home versus Upperman, which will be a really good test. We put a lot of emphasis on our schedule about beefing it up, try to get a lot of competition to simulate the grind that we're going to have in the district run. So we're excited about get Upperman Bees rolling into Brentwood and getting to go against Ty Cobb, one of the top players in the mid-state. So we're excited about that and a great opportunity for us. And I've got Hudson McKnight here beside me. In our basketball program, he's logged the most minutes of anybody in our program. Great leader for our guys, senior point guard, so we put a lot on his shoulder. He's really like an extension of the coaching staff out on the floor. He sees a lot of things well. He gets us into a lot of good play calls. When I call something dumb, he's Coach Crane, do you think that's right? And I say, you know what, you're right, Hudson. And so he really corrects a lot out on the floor. So we're excited to get going with him this year and the rest of the Bruins.
All right, questions?
Well, for both coaches, who do you feel like the teams to beat in the district are this year? And how do you feel about your chances as well?
Mine as well. I think that echo his sentiment. Everybody wants a chance to beat Brentwood and loves an opportunity to do that. I know that I feel like our side is pretty stacked on the girls' side. Obviously, Cecily at Franklin's gonna, be a player to watch. Getting recruited pretty heavily across the state. Some Power 5 schools looking at her, and Nolanville, very well coached, and they've got a lot of good pieces across the board. Ravenwood was young last year, and all those kids are back, and Centennial's got a new staff that's kind of getting them going and getting them revitalized. So I don't. Coach said that, kind of tongue in cheek, but I know he means it, and I do as well. I don't think there's a night that we're going to be able to just show up and play. We're going to have to work every night.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, I use our league for an example. Last year we were all combined into one district, and then with the reclassification, we're getting split up into a 5 and a 4 here in the county. But our competitiveness in our league is night in and night out a grind. And perfect example last year, Franklin and ourselves, we finished tied for first place, and neither one of us made it out of the. We won and done in the district tournament, and they didn't make it out of the region. So that just shows you how you can have some early success, but as the games go on through the year, this district is well coached. One of the most well coached districts that I've been in. I'm going into my 28th year as a coach, and top to bottom, these guys, they scout, they work hard. We can be having baseline out of bounds, and you make a play call, and the entire coaching staff on the opposing team is yelling the play, telling you where it's going, that type deal. So you really got to be prepared night in and night out, and you can't take anything for granted, because if you don't come and play your best, you're going to come on short end of the stick more times than not.
And then again, for both coaches, who's the most underrated player on your team?
Most underrated player on the team. We'll have a lot of new faces that'll see the floor this year, and so coming into the season, I think there'll be a couple young ladies that'll have an opportunity to surprise somebody or catch them off guard. Paige being here is one of our seniors and leaders, as I said earlier, but she's got a couple other senior counterparts that I think both of them are going to play big roles this year, and that's Bella Foss and Maggie Buckley, two girls who, Bella battled a couple injuries last year off and on, but when she was healthy, she was showing us a lot of positive things in spurts, and her stock was rising constantly, and Maggie played whatever role we needed her to last year, but going into the summer and off season, both of their roles changed, and they've both been up for the task, and they're excited about it. So to give you two for one there, I just don't really feel like I could leave either one of them out, but I think they're both going to have an opportunity to step up and kind of make some noise this year.
From the boys' side, it's in the community, you hear people talk, you hear other coaches talk, and then one of the great things about being a basketball coach is that you also get to play janitor when the games are over with, and you go to the locker rooms and you see what's written on the dry erase board and scouting papers left in the floor, and Davis Cochran and Hudson McKnight and Jackson McCutcheon, those are kind of identified as the big three that garners everybody's attention. But man, we've got some guys, I think, got some experience last year, like Luke Matthew and Jake West, and then a guy that's kind of in our program, I think, that's really kind of come on the scene. It's going to kind of really be like a transfer, is Gray McAdams. He had a outstanding summer, and you can really expect to really see him to contribute. And then Parker Emerson, once we get him plugged back in from football, him and Gray are still playing football, so getting those guys back in. But I think a lot of those guys are you're going to see be major contributions. And then we got a guy like Luke Purefoy and Asher Hahn. Those guys have been program guys and worked their way up, and their time is now. And they, like Luke Purefoy is an outstanding three-point shooter. I really like the things that he does off of ball screens and stuff like that. So you're going to see him contribute a lot. And then Asher Hahn, with his size being at 6'7", I think compliment Dave and Jake West inside to give us some size, and just really looking for big things out of them.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for Paige. Paige, your team style, you like to shoot a lot of threes. Do you like that your team is so dependent on one way of scoring, or not so much?
We were definitely really good at it last year, and we'll still be good this year, but it'll be an adjustment, and I think we can definitely get downhill more and not rely on the three so much. But we're still good at shooting, and we're working on that in practice, but I think we can definitely drive and dish it to our post that we have this year. We have a girl who's 6'3", so I think that will be a good help to contribute that to our offense. So yes, we'll still shoot, but I think we need to drive it a little bit more this year.
And then last question for Hudson. Hudson, your team returns a lot of experience this year. Do you feel like that's a good thing or a bad thing with how competitive your league is?
It's definitely a good thing, you know, like late stretch of games, having experience just to know what to do, and especially our chemistry that we've built last 2 years. It'll be big for us. Expect like big games late in the games. I think it'll be very helpful.
Hey guys, Tyler Palmer here with the Tennessean. For the coaches, the shot clock conversation will probably come up after it was tabled 3 years ago to be revisited in 3 years. Would you like a shot clock?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, most of the time we're getting a shot up, you know, within that same time frame anyway, and we enjoy the game being at a faster pace. So I definitely don't think I think it'll be a good thing. It'll be more exciting for fans and just keep the game interesting from that standpoint as well. More shots, higher score, all that kind of stuff.
I agree to what Coach Wilkins is saying there. I think the game, the way it has evolved, it's more about, you know, all 5 players on the floor being able to get downhill, everybody that checks in being able to shoot the 3. So a lot of times, data shows that within the first 8 to 10 seconds of your possession, once you cross half court, is your best available shot. So I think just the quality of basketball, and then also too, it not being high school basketball not being as big of a disconnect from the college game, I think keeping it very similar and keeping the pace and flow of it, I think is just, provides better quality of basketball.
For the players, have you ever been in an event that's used a shot clock, and do you like it? Do you have an opinion on or a preference?
I think I played in it in like a Lebanon tournament my freshman or sophomore year, I think in the summer. We were playing some really good teams at that tournament, and I don't really remember, but we played fast back then too, so I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. But yeah, I'm good with it, and we like to shoot the ball and play fast, so I think it would be fine with us.
Yeah, I had a couple tournaments this summer. We had a shot clock. I'm definitely all for it. I like speeding the game up, shooting quick shots, and I think that benefits our team, so I'm all for it for sure.
For the coaches again, would you make any changes about the postseason?
I mean, it's going to change a little bit for us this year. Obviously not having a district tournament, that'll kind of be a unique thing. But coming from Missouri, where once you hit the postseason and you lose, your season's over, that was always a weird thing for me to adjust to in Tennessee a little bit, that you can lose, and potentially you can lose in the district. You can turn around and lose again in the region and stay alive. I think I'm a fan of a single elimination, but like in the instance of our boys' side of the district, especially last year and probably again this year. I mean, I could see a scenario where two of the better teams may be in the same district, but most of the time that's not the case. But one thing that they kind of kicked around a couple of years ago that I thought would be neat would be having like super regionals, where you're going to pick 4 locations across the state and come together on that weekend to get your Final Four. And I mean, I just think where I came from in West Tennessee, Jackson would have been the area, the Omen Arena there, and I just thought, man, that would be neat, because it's the proximity is close. So if you're going to have 4 programs in there, it's going to be packed, great atmosphere, and that would kind of be I think that would be the way at all the super regionals across the state. I think that could be a fun format to go to, but no one beyond you, not many are going to ask my opinion on it, but I do think that would be a fun way to do it, just because a lot of people would get to see you play in some fun, big-time environments.
My background, I'm from Alabama, and we were had the four regions. I know the demographics with Tennessee being spread out, that would take some people a whole lot smarter than myself to figure out. But I really like having, once you get into postseason, you lose, you're done, and just going into having those regional sites is really good. You have boys and girls games at those sites, and then you take the top 4 teams to go to the state tournament, and then the state tournament is done all in 1 week, where you have, I can remember as a young coach back in, I ain't gonna say the year, but as a young coach, you're going in at 10 a.m. for a game, you're there to 10 o'clock at night, man. You're talking about some really, really fun days and some good environments, and I think that makes it a lot like the the NCAA tournament where, it's not so watered down, so to speak, but it's hard for me to knock the system we got because we've been to 7 state tournaments in Tennessee, and I think we've only won the district maybe 2 of those. So so it's been good to us the way it is. But yeah, I really like what they're kicking around about getting everything to a 1-week state tournament and getting into the the true super regionals. I think that'd be really neat for our state.
Thank you, guys.
All right, coaches, this is for you. You mentioned you opened up with Upperman. Obviously, that'll be a significant task for both programs. But are there any other pre-district games or tournaments you're playing in that have special significance as you move forward?
We're going to play as far as pre-district. We always, Coach kind of alluded to this earlier too, but just try to find some of the best teams that you can find across the state to play in those games leading up to district play, because outside of parents, whatever, your local community, like your record, ultimately you lose a game, but you're getting better, playing better competition. So we've got several early. Some of the holiday stuff, we're going to play in a Thanksgiving Classic at Lebanon and see a couple good teams there. We're going to play in I think it's going to be the tournament Paige is putting on at Christmas. I think they've got 2 or 3 8-team brackets, which I think will be kind of neat. A lot of different teams from all across the state in there, and just be a chance for us to kind of get to play in a tournament format. And also going to go down to Coffee County over the holidays and play a couple teams down there. But a lot of our non-district games, I feel like, will help prepare us for some of the battles that are to come in district play.
Yeah, it was important. Coach Wilkins and I sat down in the off season and kind of start putting a schedule together. We've got like Upperman coming in, which is a good test for both programs, and then I really like every year trying to get Blackman on the schedule, because I think Blackman, Coach Workman is kind of the godfather of high school basketball here in the mid-state, and I think his program kind of really gives you a good measuring stick of where you're at, and I think he does a really good job of exposing your weaknesses early. So I know, like last year we went over there and we got it handed to us pretty good, and it kind of opened these guys' eyes to some things that we had to do, and we were lucky enough when we played them again, we got some of those things corrected, and we ended up winning that game. But I just really think playing that type of competition really helps you as you get into the meaningful part of your season. And then Thanksgiving, we're going to the Lebanon Classic, and I know we got Lipscomb, which is features Campbell Evans, so that's going to be a good test. And then we're after before Christmas, we're over at the Adidas Shootout at Riverdale, and I know we got East Hamilton and Laverne in that. And then we get into after Christmas, we got the Battle for Nashville, and that's y'all know what that's turned into. It's one of the if not one of the top tournaments in Tennessee, it's one of the tops now, probably in the Southeast. So really excited. These guys hit me up early last year, and they said, hey, we want to get in that. They were wearing me out because they would go watch it themselves, and they just love the competition and the atmosphere. So we was able to get in that. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Last one for the players. Is there a specific game you guys have circled on your calendar this year that you're looking forward to?
Within the district, definitely Ravenwood. I mean, we've got all the talk about the Brentwood-Ravenwood rivalry, but I'm also very excited to play Nolanville because they have, I'm pretty sure, everyone returning but one, so that will be definitely a really good game. But yeah, I think across the district, everyone's pretty even, and so each game will be a battle.
Obviously, the Ravenwood game's one that we look forward to every year, and Battle for Nashville now this year, but for sure Nolansville. I've been looking at that game since they knocked us out last year, so I'm ready to play them again and hopefully win. So.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the Brentwood Bruins. Thanks for being here. Hope you guys have a great season. All right, next up we have the Nolansville Knights. The girls are led by Coach Chris Ladd in his 10th year at Nolansville and 23rd year in Williamson County. He's joined by senior guard Sarah Brakefield. For the boys, we have Coach Drew Godice in his 4th year at Nolansville, and he is joined by senior guard Bryant Hall. Coaches will have an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay. Just kind of about the season. Yeah, we're excited this year. 5 seniors coming back, some good young players. Felt like we were pretty competitive last year in our district, so just looking forward to getting out there with our team. We only lost 1 senior last year, so kind of have the same team back, and just hoping to have a successful season. Looking forward to getting started next week.
Yeah, for us, so kind of some unexpected roster changes over the offseason, but I think the most important ones are the ones that are returning. Chris Johnson's an all-region big man last year, so he's back again as a senior. Sitting up here with me tonight is B.J. Hall. He's started games all 4 years. He's one of those guys who, man, he's still around type players that for the other coaches probably feel that way. By the end of the season, he might be our all-time steals leader, all-time leader in games played. So those 2 guys have played a lot of minutes. We're excited to have them back. And Rylan McKelvey is a big-time transfer for us from Centennial. So those 3 will carry a heavy load. And 2 other seniors, Isaiah Struford and Brody Cooper. So 5 seniors that return some good experience, but not necessarily all together. And then after those, we have a cluster of 5 or 6 sophomores and juniors who they're going to have to grow up. They're going to have to really contribute varsity minutes. They might not have been thinking they were in the summer, but they definitely will be this year. So those 5 or 6 underclassmen are going to have to really fill some big roles for us.
All right, we'll open it up for questions.
For both coaches, who is your most underrated player?
Underrated for us, I would say Brody Cooper. Number 2, he's a lefty. He's a senior. Just one of those, I heard Coach Tiger on the way over here say program guys. He's a program guy for us. He just keeps getting better. Played a lot of JV minutes as a junior. Does all the glue, winning, intangible things that you just got to have to win. He's always in the right spot defensively, gets 50-50s, blocks out. Just a great high school basketball player that you love having to help you win games. Really, really proud of who he's going to be for us this year.
I'd say I brought her with me. That's why she's here. She doesn't have the gaudy stats a lot of times, but she's always making the right play, always in the right place, always knows where to be, coach on the floor, coach off the floor, extension of me. So that's partly why I brought her tonight. I knew she'd have some good things to say and get a chance to be in the spotlight a little bit.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for BJ. Your team brings back a lot of experience. Do you feel like that's an advantage or disadvantage for your team this season?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I think it's really good to always have seniors coming back. Obviously, we have 5. 2 that you guys haven't heard of that Coach Godice mentioned, Brody Cooper and Isaiah Struford, guys that haven't played a whole lot of minutes varsity, but you guys will notice as soon as they get in the game for the spurts that they get in, they both make winning plays, and it's obvious from the jump that they don't have to score the ball all the time to be out there, and they're going to get the stop when you need them to get the stop. If you put them on the best guy on the floor, they're going to get that stop. If they're on the other side of the floor and they're running the floor, they do all the little things that win games, and they're going to be a great support to guys like Chris, Rylan, that are going to put the ball in the hoop a lot. So, yeah.
And then last questions for Sarah. Sarah, you're one of the post players on Nolansville. How have you seen your game grown in the post?
I've seen a lot of different changes as I've been a post in high school. I think when I came in as a freshman, I think I was very one-dimensional, just like sitting in the paint, that kind of thing. But I think over the last 3 years, I've really grown to see the perimeter a lot better and play 5-game more and be able to interchange with my teammates better. And I think that's really helped elevate our game so we can run transition and do all kinds of things, not kind of being held back by just having someone hold down the paint all the time.
Hey guys, Tyler Palmatier with the Tennessean. Coaches, the TWSAA tabled the shot clock discussion for 3 years ago, so it's probably going to a conversation is going to come back up. Do you like the idea of a shot clock?
I love it. Yeah, I think it'd be great for the game. I know the BCAT, who's the Coaches Association, we've had a lot of correspondence with them and trying to figure out a way to get it implemented. I think it's an administrative thing, maybe a financial thing right now, but if we can work through those things, I think most coaches in the state are for it. I think it'll just add, it'll make the game more interesting to watch. Nobody's, unless they're ahead or Dennis King is resurrected from the grave, nobody's holding the ball too long in the third quarter. Everybody's shooting within a couple seconds anyway, usually. So I think it'd be a great thing.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I think everybody knows the obvious pushbacks that everybody always mentions. But for the game, the strategy of coaching, right? You got 2-for-1s at the end of each quarter. Late in the game, there's nothing worse than when there's 4 minutes to go and there's an 8 or 9 point lead, and all of a sudden the game just totally changes, right? I think you get more true, real possessions. Just from a strategic standpoint, I'd like to see it. I think it makes you get into offense quicker. I think it makes them have to play better basketball, they have to be more efficient with their dribbles and get really into actions quicker and play more like college basketball, more like NBA basketball, less wasted motion. I think there's a lot of positives on the basketball side to do it. Everybody knows the obvious pushbacks. I think you find solutions to the pushbacks.
And for the players, who's the best player not on your team, in your district, or that you'll play this year that you're most looking forward to playing against?
That is a very tricky question to answer. I don't know if I want to answer that. I would probably say that if I have to say a name, probably Davis Cochran. He's one of those guys you have to be ready to scout for. But, I mean, we're going to be ready for whoever we play. We always are ready for the scout, ready for practices. I don't see anybody that we're going to be scared of to go out there and play. And I think that's going to be a tone that we set as seniors and all the way down. I think you're going to see that we're a team that doesn't back down from anybody.
For me, I think 2 players come to mind. Like Lily Epsilet, she's been held back by some injuries for the last couple of years. And I know she might pose some unique challenges just because we haven't seen her in a while. But overall, I think we're really excited to see her come back and play again. The other one comes to mind is Cecily Brandamore. I think she poses some interesting challenges on the defensive side. I mean, it's kind of hard to challenge that side, but size. But I think it kind of goes both ways. So I think her size brings things to both ends of the court. That makes it really fun to play her.
Thank you.
Coaches, talk about you went from an 8-team district to now a 5-team district. What are the pros and cons, or just general thoughts on the now divide in Williamson County for the districts?
Yeah, it's a little strange with just 5 teams. I think 8 teams is perfect. I'm probably in the minority on liking 8 teams, but I like the 8-team district. I like having the district tournament. Those things are kind of maybe things of the past now, but it'll be interesting to see this year with 5 teams. It really makes those regular season games weigh a lot more, obviously, because that's going to seed us going into the region. So just have to really, lock in even more than we normally would, I guess, for those district games in the season. So become much more important to us.
Yeah, I think having a 5-team and a 4-team district and not playing the district tournament obviously makes those regular season games more weight carries there. But I think there are some pros. I think there's not nearly as much of a grind, I think, when you get in January and February on the turnarounds. Some of those region games will let you breathe a little bit more. You might be a little bit more adventurous in what you try in terms of those. games in terms of strategy, and you might not have to scout as hard every single game. And we stretched the schedule out actually a little bit by not playing the district tournament. It did give one more week in the regular season. So like we have basically a Tuesday night off in late January, which I can't imagine ever doing. So I'm looking forward to some of those days where you can stretch the schedule out a little bit. I think that is a pro of what happened.
Coaches, also talk about your preseason schedule. Any games you have highlighted, tournaments, things of that nature?
I don't know if we have anything highlighted. I know I heard Brentwood talking. We're in the same mindset. We try to schedule tough before district play. We're going to take a trip to Gatlinburg. Some pretty tough teams up there right before Christmas. Boys are going as well. Playing in a tournament at Paige, same tournament Brentwood mentioned. There are going to be some really strong teams there from all across the state. And then we're in the State Farm, I forget what it's called, over in Lebanon on a Saturday, kind of a showcase day. Still don't know who will play there, but be some strong teams there. So we believe, Drew and I feel the same way, you need a strong schedule outside your district just to get better. And I heard Coach Wilkins say it's a loss. You know, we don't ever want to lose. If you lose to a good team and you get better, it's worth it.
Yeah, there's not a single – I told the boys about once a week, there's not a single gimme on our schedule. It starts very, very quickly next week with Hendersonville being a tough test right out of the gate in the opener. And then with our location, we really like to play a lot of the Rutherford County teams. So we got Stewart's Creek, Rockville, Laverne, and Smyrna. Smyrna's at the Ravenwood Thanksgiving Coaches versus Cancer deal, which we're looking forward to competing in. So a lot of Rutherford County teams, which is interesting because that is the sub-state. You mentioned the new alignment this year. So those could be some potential sub-state opponents there that we might get a little test of in the early season.
This for the players. You're about a week and a half into practice here. Talk about what this first week and a half has been like and just what your overall expectations are for the season.
Well, personally, going into senior year, it's definitely exciting. There's a lot of emotions going on. I mean, at the end of the day, it's exciting to get back on the basketball court. I've known a lot of these guys nearly all my life, so to go out here and really go hard. And one of the things that we're trying to do as seniors is set the tone. We have a lot of younger guys that are coming up, so the biggest thing we want to do before we even start gameplay is show how important practices are, show how important the preparation is before you get to the actual games. Because once you get to the games, you are what you are. So we're trying to make sure that they understand what that feels like before we get into those key moments where we're going to need some of them to step up.
I agree with BJ on a lot of that stuff. You know, senior year, emotions are high, but you're just kind of soaking it all in, following on with the grind and stuff like that. We have a lot of younger players, so it's been a lot of like learning moments and stuff like that. But with a lot of older players on our team, we've been trying to just like show them kind of the ropes but going hard all the time, kind of stuff. Just going into it as hard as you can. You know, it's okay to make mistakes, stuff like that. But it's been really nice to just like fall into the routine with, you know, our varsity girls and get back into our sharp playing style and stuff like that.
All right, we'll close with this one. This is also for the players. What game or games do you have circled for this upcoming season?
At the end of the day, we want to be the best preparation team that we can be. We know that you have to win when it matters, and that's definitely postseason towards the end of the season. That's where you see a lot of teams, they'll start super well, and then once you get to the end of the season, they start to see some dips. So if there's one game that I would say for me, some of the seniors, it's always Brentwood. We always want to beat them. Ravenwood, those are two teams that whenever we play them, we are coming out there hot and ready. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of preparation that goes into those games, but, yeah, we're always prepared.
Definitely for me, I think Paige and Brentwood, we always look forward to those every year. I mean, the basketball community is pretty tight, so we all know each other, and we all know when we go to Brentwood or they come here, we go to Paige, stuff like that, it's going to be a close game, it's going to be competitive, it's going to be physical, and that's the kind of basketball we love. So just again with this year, seeing who all's come back, and we're all excited to go play them again.
All right, that's the Nolansville Knights. Thank you for being here, and hope you guys have a great season. All right, next up is the Independence Eagles. The girls are led by Brianna Jackson in her second year. She's joined by senior forward Riley Brooks. And the boys are led by Mark Wilkins in his fifth year and is joined by senior forward Harris Hall. Coaches, we will open it up with a opening statement, and then we will have some questions.
Hello, everyone. We are very excited. Lady Independence Eagles girls basketball. We are very excited about this upcoming year. We're excited about all the hard work and dedication the girls have put in the preseason of just the grit, the toughness, the togetherness, and just seeing all of those things come together. That is the exciting part, and that's the part that you get goosebumps about.
Yeah, excited as well would be the word we'd use. Can't believe it's already here. Feels like it's going faster than ever. Next got a scrimmage again tomorrow, and then starts next week for real. So, but we got Harris Hall with me here tonight. Been a fixture in our program, is finally a senior, and just excited to talk some hoops.
All right, we'll open it up with questions.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for Coach Wilkins. Coach, your team lost a lot of players from last season's team. How does your team plan to regroup with the talent you got this season?
Yeah, we've been blessed to have about 3 classes here in a row, about 7, 8 seniors, and last year's group, except for Harris, I think, and Kobe, we're pretty much played all the minutes, and so we're excited. That group is a special group. But also, I think these guys are ready for their turn now. Harris stepped up there towards the end of the year. Kobe Jackson played a lot of minutes there towards the end too, and so we have a lot of more roles this year to replace than we have in years previous. But these guys have seen it done, and they want to have their chance at it. So we're really excited to put some new faces on the floor next week.
And then next question's for Harris. Harris, your team has consistently been a factor in the postseason. Do you feel like there's extra pressure that comes with that, or not at all?
I mean, yeah, there's pressure since we've been, the past 4 years. So to do that again, it's going to be tough, but, it's the standard here at Independence.
Chip Cirillo, Williamson Senior. For both players, who do you feel like the team to beat in your district is?
Obviously Brentwood, but every other team's just as good as them, and we can compete with all the other teams.
I would probably say Brentwood or Paige, but definitely I feel like this district is super competitive, so I feel like anybody could be a force to be reckoned with. So.
And then for both coaches, who is the most underrated player on your team?
That's a good question. I think that we have some faces coming back, some that, are stepping up into bigger roles with Kobe and Harris playing some minutes last year. We have two guys that are on the football field right now we're super proud of that have made it again, Matthew Horner and George Marbury, and then Ethan Lingerbines as well, threw a couple touchdowns last week. So we feel like you could honestly just pick at a lot of different guys. Even Harris is not under the radar because you knew him from last year, but his role has really increased. And so I'm still trying to figure that out, Chip, actually myself, on who's going to be some of those people filling in maybe 5, 6, 7 on our roster, and I'm excited to see it.
That is a load of questions. It's funny. But I would say it's not an underrated who's under the radar. It's more of the improvement and the growth of now, like Coach Wilkins was saying, getting that opportunity to expand on my minutes. Girls that have wanted to get those opportunities are now getting to experience those minutes, and that is the biggest thing of just the depth, and the experience is always good, but this year we'll have in different positions, we'll have a lot of different pieces, I should say.
Brad DeShield, Dash to Sports, voice of Summit Athletics. This is to the coaches first. They've changed up the districts a little bit. You're in a 4-team district now, 12 4A. For both of you, you're still playing competition, that kind of thing. Do you like it? Do you not like it? It seems like the biggest thing with TSSAA that I'm not happy about, they get something that looks pretty good and then they change it. And they're always doing some kind of change. And obviously, I'm sure they're trying to get better, but just your feelings on that.
Yeah, we love it being all together. The WCS is the last couple of years. I think it's kind of made our team better, playing everybody every night. And I'm not even sure if Harris knows that our district's split up. We haven't really talked about it a whole lot because our kids treat it the same way, too. Who they play in the other side of the region being, all the Williamson County teams. There's 5 Williamson County teams. They treat that. We don't have to tell them anything to get them excited for that game. And so, technically it doesn't matter for the standings, not necessarily, but it matters to them just as much as any game. And so we're going to have to really convince people that, hey, Columbia is a big game. That's a district game for us. We only get 6 of those in the year. So come out, help us travel, because those really mean a lot for us in the postseason too. So to answer your question, I think it's going to be some of those built-in rivalries. Again, we're playing everybody twice in the region. And then we're going to continue to add Columbia, who's usually pretty good too. So it's going to be exciting again.
Very exciting. I just feel like going into every game, you should have the mentality of it doesn't matter who you're playing, who's here last year, who's in this district this year, who's ever switched around. I just feel like the same standard is the standard with whoever you play, no matter who's on what side.
You're going to coach them that way, either way. It doesn't matter who you're playing, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
To the players, you guys are seniors this year. You got it's a different role for both of you in that, typically on a team, the other players look up to the seniors. What do you want to bring this year to the team and to the court when you play that, obviously maybe you haven't achieved yet, maybe you're working on it. What do you want to bring mostly to the court?
I think being more of a vocal leader, because, we lost 6 or 7 seniors last year. So being more of a vocal leader on the court, setting the precedent for the guys. And, yeah, follow me.
Yeah, I think definitely leadership, especially like Harris said, being a vocal leader, especially I'm the only senior, so I feel like it's more of bringing people along, and we have a lot of players our juniors and sophomores are very also very vocal, and they're also leaders, so it's nice to have them.
For the coaches, what would you think about shot clock? Would you like a shot clock? No shot clock?
I tell you one thing, I love the shot clock because
Why?
playing at a high level, playing at the D1 level, we always play with the shot clock. We play with 30 seconds, we play with 25, and every level of that with the time, it teaches you the intensity and the pressure to push on the offensive end and not technically just holding the ball or dragging out the offense. I think it helps with the push and the pace and the tempo of the game. I love the shot clock idea.
Yeah, we're definitely for it as well. We've had teams that have scored a lot of points. Last year's team was not necessarily that team. We were trying to score points, though. We weren't trying to hold the ball, even though some of the scores look like we might have. But, I think the point is we never had a player in our program. I haven't met any players ever that said, yeah, I want less possessions. I want to shoot the ball less. I want to score in the 20s as opposed to scoring in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So, ultimately this is a game that is still for student athletes, and coaches a lot of times without a shot clock can really scheme up a way maybe to hold it and shorten the game up. And I don't blame them. We've tried to do some of that at times too, but I don't think that's how it's meant to be played. And I think we're kind of doing our kids a disservice if we're not trying to play it the right way within reason. So we're definitely for it as well.
What about? I mean, it seems like every year, every other year, the question comes up. But why would now specifically be the right time to do it? I mean, some other states have kind of gone that way in last years, but why would this be the tipping point?
Yeah, I just think it has a lot of momentum, like what you just said right there. I think a lot of states have gone there recently, and I think we're running out of reasons on why not to. I think there's been a lot of things that have been said about who's going to keep it, and some of those things were kind of logistics will work out, I'm sure, with the 3-point line back in the day, and now look at the game. So I think that we're messing around with the details. It'll get worked out. I know plenty of people at our school that would love to help us with that we could train up, old officials in the area. It can be done. It's just a matter of getting the right people. And I think TWSLA is real serious about it. When you hear them talking about it, I think they want to see it, and BCAT's pushing for it too. So I'm optimistic that it's going to happen in the next couple of years.
For the players, who is the best opposing player that you're going to see this year?
I feel like I'd say probably Brentwood or Paige. I feel like those are two of the big competitors, and I feel like more of our rivals in this district. But yeah, I'd say Brentwood or Paige.
Obviously Davis Cochran, he's like 6'7", so it's always hard to guard those tall guys. But it's treating every other guy the same, scheming against them and scouting every other team.
What is with the green? Did I miss the? Is that an alternate color for Independence now?
We're trying to make it one, I guess.
Really?
I let Harris pick what we're going to wear tonight, so he wanted to wear the green jacket. So.
I like it.
Yeah, it is an accent color technically on TWSAA. It's our accent color.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's new to me. All right, thank you.
All right, this is for the coaches, and then we'll want to hear from the players. You're about a week and a half into practice. You don't get a whole lot of time before you have that first game. What have you seen out of your team in this first week and a half that has you optimistic, and what are you concerned about?
One of the biggest things that keeps coming up within the last couple of weeks have just been the standard of this is what we show up and we do every single day. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look pretty all the time, but just pushing through the small detailed things. Like we're going to come down to a situation where it's triple overtime, double overtime. Can we withstand those type of situations? And just the grittiness and the toughness of the team has been the biggest standout, I would say, overall.
Yeah, I would think a bright spot would be these guys really want to live up to kind of what's been happening the last few years on our program. And, thankfully we haven't had to coach a lot of effort. We've had to coach a lot of mistakes, just mental mistakes and things like that. But, and so I think the effort's really been there. The guys are excited. They've been waiting on this moment for a long time. So that's been a bright spot for us. Obviously, just kind of some things that are concerning, or just kind of what Coach was mentioning too, but just the normal basketball stuff. We're not boxing out, in our scrimmage last week, or making free throws, and some of those small details that we've got to continue just to focus on. We can get in the weeds of all the fun stuff and the X and O's, but if we don't do those simple things well, it's not going to matter that much.
And I think to echo to that, like Mark is saying, the consistency. I think that was sum up of everything of what we're saying. It's just like, if we don't push the standard of the consistency every single day, everything that we're talking about, it kind of just goes one ear out the other. So that's the standard of just trying to be consistent, more consistent.
And the players, what have you guys seen this first week and a half that's got you excited?
Obviously, we're a super competitive team. I think we can play with everybody. We've got a lot of different weapons on the team. Got a bunch of shooters and great defenders too. So looking forward to that.
I feel like definitely, like Coach Brew was saying, our intensity and just like the way I feel like we've been working these past few weeks is just like, it's super exciting, and like everybody's putting in so much effort, and I'm so excited for our first game, because I feel like the amount of effort we've been putting in practice is really going to show on the court. So I'm excited.
Coaches, talk about your pre-district schedule, any tournaments you have, any games you are really looking forward to outside of Williamson County games.
All right. So we have a lot of games, coming up here real fast, obviously. But one of the biggest ones, probably the tournament, the Battle for Nashville tournament that we're fortunate enough to be in right after Christmas. There's some big names in that tournament, and so it's some of the best basketball, I would say, probably in the state. with the amount of teams that they've been able to get in. So we don't really know who we're playing yet in that, but we know it's going to be a lot of very, very competitive teams. And then after Christmas, too, we have I know Coach Crane was talking about playing Upperman. We're also playing Upperman, won a state championship. So got, Ty Cobb and those guys coming to us in January. I know our kids are excited about playing a team that's won their last game of the season last year. So I feel like we have been fortunate. We don't have to go very far to play a lot of really, really good teams. So hopefully that gets us ready for when it matters.
The two tournaments that I'm looking forward to the most, we host a tournament, it's called the Hoop Fest Christmas Classic. And then this will be our first year going to the Turkey Shootout at Ezel Hardin with a lot of great teams in there, Lipscomb Academy, CPA, Ezel Hardin. So a lot of just competitive, different teams all around. And in our Hoop Fest Classic, we have about 13 teams of just out of state, in state, some local. So I think it's always good to just have a mixture competing against different teams.
It's for the coaches and then the players as well. What makes playing in Williamson County so unique? Obviously, we've got a pretty good infrastructure here and a lot of success, particularly in the last 10 to 15 years. What makes it so special?
I think it's so special for me because just being a part of different counties, Rutherford County, I was in the private school sector, and now I'm over here in Williamson County. I think the special part of it is just getting to build something new, building a different culture, building a different name for the program. I think one of the special parts getting to coach is getting important to the players, getting important to the student athletes. It's bigger than basketball, and I think a lot of times the outside world doesn't get to see the everyday logistics of what we pour into the players, but that's the biggest thing that gives me the goosebumps and gets me waking up every day that I love to do it. Is just the progression and just the development and the growth, that the relationships that you get to build.
Yeah, I think for me personally, this Independence is a great fit just as far as my personality and type of kid I love to be around. These are great kids, and we're blessed to coach again. So it's just kind of been that way since I've been here. Just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's been a great personality, I guess, together. And so I feel like as far as Williamson County goes as a whole, I think kind of reflecting back to a preseason, we're not the only our only team that goes before school. But it's pretty easy to motivate our guys, I feel like, because they know it's early, no one's here, it's 6 in the morning, whatever. But here in a few months, it's going to be packed. And we have an awesome student section, and we have people that are going to come and watch these games. And so that kind of gets them out of bed, I think, in the morning, keeps them working hard. Is that Williamson County is just known for having the best student sections in the state and some of the most competitive games. And to your point, a lot more talent, I think, the last 10, 15 years here, and I think that's continuing.
Yeah, I think our district is just super competitive, like all the teams. It's just such a fun district to be a part of. And like I said, I feel like everybody's super competitive, and it's just it's fun to play all these different teams because, you never know, any given night anyone could win. So it's just super fun to see all of that.
I think the atmosphere is what sets it apart, because that Summit Indy game at Indy on Fridays are crazy. So obviously the atmosphere, but obviously competitiveness of Williamson County is one of the best in the state, so it's fun to play in that county.
All right, we'll close out with the players here. You kind of alluded to it in some of these other questions, but what's a game you have circled that you're really looking forward to this year?
Obviously Upperman, I think, like Coach said, guarding Ty Cobb's definitely going to be fun, but then again, the Summit game at Indy will be very fun as well.
Yeah, I'd definitely say our Summit game at Indy. It's definitely my favorite, but I'm also really looking forward to playing Paige this year. So, yeah.
Coach, I had one more thought I want to say on the front end. I meant to mention about Harris here too, if you don't mind. It's fun to have Harris here as a senior because his freshman year, I was thinking about this on the way in, we were able to kind of surprise ourselves and other people and get to the state tournament, and we didn't have enough guys. Comes on spring break every year. And so, the state tournament is on spring break, so we had to start searching for people. Harris wasn't even dressing or practicing at all at that point as a freshman, but he was around, and we got to have him come in and help us a little bit that week. And so now just to kind of come full circle and for him to be up here leading our team, you ask our team, who's kind of the person out there leading the charge. Right now it's Harris as a senior, just super proud of him. And so I kind of went to mention that on the front end. That's the program guy, in this day and age of teams shuffling around a little bit, to see this guy up here leading our team. I know Riley's an awesome kid as well. We're just blessed, I think Coach would agree, just to coach these young men and women this next year.
All right. It's the Independence Eagles. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys have a great season. All right, next up we have the Fairview Yellow Jackets. The girls are led by Coach Isaac Edmondson in his first year, and he's joined by Abby Hammond. And the boys are led by Trey McCoy in his 9th season, and he is joined by senior Jax McCoy. Coaches will start with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, my name is Isaac Edmondson. It's my first year as a head coach of the Lady Jackets. We're excited. We got a young team, but we're just looking to stay together and build this year and then for the future.
I'm Abby Hammond. This will be my 4th year on the girls basketball team. Like Coach Edmondson said, I'm just really excited to see how the season's going to go and see how successful we can be as a team.
My name is Jax McCoy. I've played for 4 years, and yeah, I'm just excited to play. We got a lot of returning or players that didn't play last year that are coming back, and just excited.
I'm Coach Trey McCoy. It's my 9th year at Fairview. Yeah, last year was really tough. We missing quite a few players coming off graduating a great senior class. So we're really excited to get 4 players back this year, and hopefully the bumps we took last year will be worth it for this year.
All right, we'll open it up for questions.
Well, Coach Edmondson, being your first year now, what are your main goals? What kind of building blocks do you want to put in this season?
The main goal is I just want the girls that we have to get better every day. We have 3 sophomores, 3 freshmen, and 1 senior. Well, we got 4 sophomores now. One of them didn't play last year, and then one of them's out for the year. So trying to get better every day, but also keep us healthy because we don't have enough numbers to lose right now. So my goal is just take it every day, try to get a win every time we play. So just play as hard as we can.
And then, Coach, how many starters do you return, and what's the outlook for you guys, would you say?
We're returning 2, maybe 3 starters, but we're getting back 4 kids that we didn't have last year. Had 2 injury, had 3 injury, and a couple that were JV only. So I'm really excited about the senior class. And as far as the outlook goes, we really it was uncharted waters for our program. It was a tough year. We went from being not competitive at all to competing to actually winning. So kind of had to reset the program and reset the mindset, but the kids were bought in. They're a hard-working group, and getting back the guard play we're going to have this year, I think we got a chance to just completely flip the script.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for Coach Edmondson. Coach, you were a big-time star at Bethel University. How do you feel like your experience in college and setting free throw records and everything else helps you be a great high school coach?
Yeah, I guess just in my playing career, I've never been the most athletic, tallest, or anything. Just had to be smart and play smart on the court. And I try to use that mindset and be able to break down the game and help develop these young ladies, help them be better basketball players and ladies off the court.
And next question is for Abby. You're the only senior on the team. How do you hope to grow, obviously, all the other players? How do you hope to grow all the other players that are underclassmen on your team?
Yes, I am the only senior, and obviously at first I've actually put a lot of thought into this. My main goal is to just get them ready for their future years. As Coach Edmondson said, we're a very young team. We have a lot of room for improvement. My main goal isn't even really just to better myself, but my younger teammates, and be the leader and role model that they deserve, and just not even just on the court, but off the court as well.
And last question is for Jax. Jax, you're a 4-year starter. What have you learned from your time starting as a freshman that you've carried in, or hopefully will carry into your senior year?
Yeah, so I've been playing under a bunch of good guards the past 3 years. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play last year, but just using what I experienced my first year and my second year, and then seeing the turnaround last year, I think it's just a big motivation and big motivation for us to turn it back around this year and get back to what we're used to doing.
Hey, Coach, it's Tyler Palmentier with the Tennessean. The shot clock conversation will probably come up this year because it was something that was tabled 3 years ago, and they said they were going to revisit it in 2026. Do you think is Tennessee ready for a shot clock? Do you think there should be one?
I don't really have a strong position on it, but my feeling is it's one more thing to staff, one more thing to complain about, one more thing to get wrong. And I think the main argument usually is that, college has one. And I feel like most of our programs, unless you're at the absolute top, the vast majority of the players you're coaching will never step foot on a college floor. So I don't really feel like that's a great argument. The other side of that coin is I've seen all the viral videos of teams holding the ball at half court, and that's not basketball in my opinion. So it's a tough situation. I think it's inevitable it's going to happen. So I'll embrace it when it does. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm not totally against it either. It's the nature of sports. They continue to change and evolve. So.
Yeah, like I played in high school with no shot clock, and then I played in college with the shot clock. So, you just have to adapt to whatever happens. It doesn't matter to me if we have one or not.
For the players, do you have any thought? Have you ever played in a summer event or anything with a shot clock, or do you have any opinion on it one way or the other?
I've never played for the shot clock, and like both of them said, I don't really think it would matter that much. I feel like it only comes into play if you play a team that just holds the ball. But other than that, I don't think it would really have much effect on how we would play or really any other team would play.
I think most high school coaches wish their players would slow down as it is. So there's a lot of bad shots in high school basketball, a lot of one pass or no pass. So I think as coaches, we're always battling that. So, and I don't think the shot clock would really affect that, change it. I've got several players in college that I've went over, throughout the years, watch play, and the pace of the game's obviously more quicker and more physical. But it really, to me, shots per possession or how quickly into a possession, to me, it's pretty comparable. But again, it's going to happen. It will happen eventually. So.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any opinion? Okay, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No. I was just making sure you had an answer.
Oh yeah. So I actually have not played in a game with a shot clock before either. Like they said, I don't really think it'll make that big of a difference. It'll just change how players have to play and just adapt to it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, this is for Coach Edmondson, your first year. What made the Fairview job attractive and made you want to take that job?
I was a biology teacher in Dix County Schools, and then I knew Coach Wayne. I went to Fairview for a year in high school, and I played for Coach Wayne and Coach Bledsoe, and then Coach Bledsoe passed away, and then I reached out to Coach Wayne and asked him if he needed help. So he was like, yeah, I'd love to have you on staff and on board. So I've just been under him for the last 2 years, and then Coach Wayne stepped down, and now I'm taking over for him. So just better opportunity and to work with Coach Wayne again.
And Abby, on that note, what's the transition been like having a new head coach in your senior year?
I've known Coach Wayne for my whole life. I always considered him a second dad. I was real close with his daughter, Maddie McGowan, for anyone that's familiar with her. Coach Wayne was an amazing coach. He knew a lot about the game. He still knows a lot about the game. I am excited to see some different things, and obviously Coach Edmondson can bring some different things to the table. But I think both were amazing coaches, and I'd be perfectly okay with playing for either one of them.
Coach McCoy, you got a two-sport star sitting next to you right there. How important is that at a school that's a little bit smaller in terms of the general scope of Williamson County?
Yeah, we don't have the luxury. We have to share athletes. We don't have a lot of one-sport athletes, or not as many, I should say. So I think it's good for a young athlete to be exposed to different coaching styles, different environments, different roles. You may be a star on one team and a role player on another. I always think it's best for players to, especially when they're young, to do as much as possible. The whole part about being in high school is finding yourself. And so if as an athlete, the more sports you play, obviously the easier that journey is. So he's kind of special. He leads kind of in his own way. He's a quiet leader, but I think football and Coach Hugh's staff has helped him grow up tremendously in a way that if he was just a basketball player, maybe he wouldn't be as well-rounded.
Jax, you're having a pretty solid season on the gridiron. Got a big playoff game coming up this weekend. What are, as we just spoke about the benefits of being a two-sport star, what has that meant to you, and, what are you looking forward to most here over the next several weeks?
So, I mean, obviously, of course, I want to keep playing football as long as we can go. So right now the focus is football, but at the same time, games start Monday for basketball, so I've been having to practice both pretty much every day. But I think it's been really, good for me, especially coming back from an injury, to just get in the motion of things, playing football, experiencing that, and then once it's time for that, then moving on to basketball and just continue playing.
We'll start with the coaches here. Being in a different classification than the other 8 Williamson County schools, who are some of the teams in your district, in your region, that are going to be formidable opponents this year, difficult to play?
Well, Creekwood is in our district, and they're always, I feel like they've won, I don't even know, for a long time in a row. So that'll be a tough team to play. And then we're in a new district, so everybody else is kind of like in the same bunch. So it's going to be good to be able to battle with them. And then we're in a new region as well, and it's really tough for girls basketball right now. So just focusing on, what we control right now and just getting better each day. And then by the time we get in district play, hopefully we improve and then find ways to win games.
Yeah, I think for us in district play, Creekwood and Montgomery Central, which we both were in with last year, Battle Creek and Spring Hill are the new teams to that district. Montgomery Central, I don't think graduated very much, and they were really coming on at the end of the year. Coach did a great job with them. But, I mean, Coach Taylor, I think he goes to the gym class and just points at 5 kids, and they're just automatically can play ball. So, I mean, no matter what they graduate, they always reload. So both of those teams are going to be tough battles for us. Out of district, I know we've got Hickman County on the schedule, and I think everything I've heard is they're just as good as they were last year, if not better. So we've got some tough teams scheduled. We start off with Summit, trying to with a little bit of WCS gameplay just to kind of get our feet wet on that early in the season. But I think we've got a good mix this year of challenging games, and it's going to be fun.
All right, Fairview's a little bit smaller, like I said, than some of the other schools in the county, but it's a very unique and tight-knit community. What makes it, we'll start with the coaches, what makes it so special being a Fairview Yellow Jacket?
I mean, I'm alumni, so I think familiar faces that you can count on is going to be there every night, no matter what the team is. Just the community support. I don't know what the other communities do, but it's just it's unreal how they rally. The year we went to state, we came home from a 2-hour bus ride to a gym. The town was in the gym waiting on us to cut down the nets. I don't know if that happens at every school, but police escorts, the whole thing. So Fairview's unique in Williamson County because we still have that small town feel, even though it's becoming more and more diverse as people move in, which is great. But it's a special place in Williamson County. I think it gets looked over a little bit, but we're fine with that. We're fine just being out there minding our own business and taking care of business. So I think it's a really special place for me because, like I said, I grew up there.
Yeah, I mean, I've loved the Fairview community. It's just tight-knit people, get to build great relationships, and everybody. So, and everybody's trying to help you out and, mentor you or do whatever they can to help you. So I enjoy it a lot.
Players, when you look at your upcoming schedule, is there one game in particular that you're looking forward to, maybe more so than the others?
I would probably say Hickman County and Creekwood. Creekwood's always been a rivalry, and so is Hickman County, but Creekwood's in our district this year. So, yeah, I think that's a big game, and I think it's a really important game for us to win this year.
I guess I'd have to agree with Jax on that one. I'd say Hickman County the most just because one of our former players goes there, and I love Ava Floyd. She's a great player. I'd just be excited to play against her.
Coaches, you're about a week and a half into practice. What are some positive and maybe some negative things you've seen out of your team just a week and a half in as you get prepared to play a game here in 5 or 6 days?
Some positives for us is I think we proved a lot defensively. Our girls get after it. They play hard. They play fast. They're listening. Starting to get more basketball IQ as we go. Things to improve is we only have 7, 8 girls practicing, depending if everybody's healthy. So it's kind of hard to mimic that 5-on-5 feel. So we played this past Saturday, and just that extra pressure. I felt like we were doing well when it was 3-on-3, in practice. But then we got 5 girls playing defense on us, so we just got sped up a lot. So now we're trying to get some boys to come in there and practice and speed us up a little bit to make it our girls slow down a little bit. So just the game speed for us on offense and less turnovers.
I think for us it's real easy. Last year, again, it was a struggle, and it was really hard to keep and to their credit, the boys' credit, it was hard to keep a locker room together. When you look up at the end of the season and you've won 4 games and 2 of those are against the first-year school, there's not a lot of positive to talk about. What's been exciting for me is seeing returning players like Blake Fawcett and Lander Horde come back and take the criticism or the areas of growth to heart, becoming better defenders, better shooters, better leaders. And then we're getting players back, Eamon Birch, Jax, and Aiden Eric and Owen Vanderhorst. All are kids who didn't play last year, and they're all going to have a huge role on our team. So it's exciting to see. I feel like the team I was supposed to have last year, I'm getting this year, and they've taken their lumps and they're hungry, and they've got something to prove. So that's pretty excited to see the turnaround, and just to keep their head in it. That was a big deal, and for them to come into this season and expect more says a lot about their maturity and their growth as young men.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the Fairview Yellow Jackets. We appreciate you being here and hope you have a great season. Next up is the Paige Patriots. The girls' team is led by Coach Randy Kaufman in his 4th year at Paige and is joined by senior Maisie Bushman. The boys are led by Jared Street in his 5th year at Paige, joined by junior guard Owen Looney. Coaches, will open it up with an opening statement and then have questions.
Thank you guys for being here. Thanks Coach Whitlock and Williamson County Schools for putting this on. We're in a program in transition. We graduated 7 seniors last year, and so we've got a lot of young players on our team. Really excited about our team. Really excited about the talent that we have, but we just haven't done it when the popcorn machine's on and the lights are on. So we got a lot of work to do. We certainly are getting better each and every day. I'm really excited about the guy that's next to us, Owen Looney. He's our lone returner from last year's team. If you think about him as a sophomore last year, he came in and played really valuable minutes for us with 7 other seniors, which speaks more about him and what his skill set is. I really look to find him to really explode this year as a player. Statistically, I think he's going to really explode. We're going to be led by a couple other really nice players. Blake Smith, who didn't get a lot of minutes last year but has really grown sophomore or this summer and over his sophomore year. We've got a couple of football guys that we'll be waiting for, Drew Rimple, Mac Lee. Sachi Oputa is going to make his debut, 6'7" sophomore, and his brother Samto Oputa. And then Graham Harris, who's looking forward to have a great sophomore year as well. So you can kind of see that we're really young. We're going to be junior and sophomore heavy with our rotation guys and with the guys that are going to lead us in production. But excited about this team, excited about the journey we're about to go on, and excited to see where we're going to be, February 28th when that region tournament starts.
All right, Coach Whitlock, again, we just want to say appreciate you guys and what you do for the athletes here in Williamson County. It's always first class. We are coming off graduating 5 seniors, 4 of which signed collegiate scholarships and have moved on. It was a great, talented group, and they certainly set the bar pretty high for Paige High School. Even though I'm in year 4, I would say that we're probably in a transition year from this standpoint. We got a lot of new faces. One of the new faces is not sitting beside me, though. Maisie Bushman is a senior here who has literally been on our varsity and played varsity minutes for us since our freshman season. And she won't brag on herself, but she just recently received a scholarship to Cumberland University, and I'm extremely excited for what the future holds for her. I'm sure there will be other opportunities for her as well. We have a couple transfers that have come to Paige, and in Jordan Maddox, who is a junior. Jordan comes to us from West Tennessee, and she was a first-team All-State kid in West Tennessee. Outstanding player, outstanding competitor. She also has with her her younger sister, who will be a freshman in our program this season. So when you look at that, and then you add a 6'1" Lily Espelette back into the mix, who is not a post, and I'm gonna clear that up quick, Lily. But she got great length at the guard forward spot for us, and we feel like it's a transfer for her because she literally had to miss all of her junior season. Lily just signed today on National Signing Day with the University of Tennessee at Martin. So super proud of her and her work ethic and her passion for the game. And it's not by accident that she's back and ready to rock and roll this year for us in spite of injury.
All right, we'll open up to questions.
Chip Cirillo, Williamson scene. Coach Street, you don't hear of too many 6'7" twins. Can you tell us a little bit about them and what kind of strengths they have?
Yeah, those guys are going to be special. They've really come along. Had the fortune to see them when they came in 6th grade, first year, had basketball camp, and here they come in, and then had the fortune to coach them as 7th graders in AAU. And so they have really grown, not only physically, but also mentally and also with their skill set. Sachi's a really dynamic player who can play on the perimeter, really working on his shot, extremely explosive athlete. Had a great year with Pro 1 in the UAA circuit. And Samto has grown leaps and bounds from this June. We kind of threw him out there in June to see what he could do, and he really demonstrated a lot of great things. We played against Maryville, who returned a ton of their talent from last year, and he went toe-to-toe with their big guy, who was a Division II signee. So we're really excited about both of them. They really changed the dynamic of our team from last year. Last year we were really guard-heavy, with the Pablo Hernandez kind of, rounding it out for us. And this year we certainly got really talented guards like Owen, but Sachi and Samto really changed the dynamic of our team. Really excited about those guys.
And then Coach Kaufman, how many starters return for you, and how do you think things will shake out in the district?
But when you graduate 4 kids that sign collegiately. I mean, that's a whole. They were talented young ladies. They were very dependable, worked hard. So, we tell our seniors every year, just as we've told our 3 seniors this year, you leave a legacy. And what's your legacy going to be? What are you going to leave the program that allows it to continue on and become, maybe a freckle better than what you left it. And so, those 4 are going to, they're going to be missed. But at the same time, we feel like we got some really good, kids coming back. Sitting right beside me, Maisie Bushman was a starter for us last year, and she'll be in that role as well. But when you start talking about starters for us, we played 10 kids last year, and we'll do the same again this year. So a lot of it will be matchup based. We've got the first 3 kids off our bench will be 6 foot or taller. So we change dynamically based on lineups and what our opponent looks like. So when we talk about starters that are returning, you're sitting by ours. Right there she is. And there's another one down there pretty close to Coach Whitlock back there as well that unfortunately had her season taken due to injury. So she would have been a huge part. She was a starter for us as a sophomore. So we're super excited to have her back as well.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question's for Maisie. Your team turns a lot of returning players, including a lot of depth. How do you feel like that's an advantage with how tough your schedule typically is?
It's definitely an advantage. Like Coach Goffin was saying, we graduated some good players, but we're really young. We're going to get overlooked, but we're going to surprise a lot of players. We have a lot of hardworking people and a lot of grit on our team that's really going to carry us really far, I believe.
And then Coach Street, you mentioned you lost a lot of players from last year's team. Your team always has size in the post. How do you feel like that helps you with obviously district play and out-of-district competition?
Well, obviously, size gives you a lot of advantages in a lot of different ways, and we've been fortunate to have that. This year we're hoping to utilize that in different ways. But when you talk about the back end of your defense, being able to, block shots, offensive rebounding advantages, defensive rebounding advantages, and in a lot of ways, we're going to have equal size. Xander Wagnon, who's a senior for us, who hasn't gotten a lot of minutes, but he has come a long way too, and he's about 6'6". So we really have a lot of length, and it just gives you some advantages and allows you to do some things maybe defensively that you couldn't do if you didn't have size. And so we're very fortunate to have that. And, I've always said this, we can teach you how to dribble, pass, and shoot. We can't teach you how to grow. So we're really fortunate to have those types of players on our team.
Hey, Coach, this is Tyler Palmatier with the Tennessean. This is kind of figures to probably be a year where the shot clock conversation will begin again because it got tabled 3 years ago. And what are your thoughts this year on a shot clock? Would you like it? And why would right now be the right time for Tennessee?
I'll take a dive at that first. We want to shoot the thing in 7 seconds, so a 35-second shot clock is not something that we're worried about. So I do think this. I think that a shot clock is certainly going to grow the game. There's no sense in rules being different. We're one of the only countries where rules change as you move up, and so I think it doesn't do anything but grow the game. And to be honest, it grow the coaches, because a lot of things that you might do strategically are going to be different if you can dig into a shot clock early. So maybe that's extend the defense. Maybe that's switching defenses a little bit more. Certainly some half-court traps and different things to dig into a shot clock before actual offense starts for the other team. So I've always been a proponent of it. I think it's something, again, that allows fluidity as you move forward into collegiate basketball, and then obviously those that are super or uber talented are going to be affected by those on the professional level.
Ditto. I mean, shot clock is needed in the state of Tennessee. My only concern would be, adding something to the officials' plate during a game. without video review, right? They have video review in college, which allows them to make those necessary adjustments if, the ball hit the rim and they got to reset it. So that does add an extra challenge. But from the player standpoint, from the coaching standpoint, the shot clock makes the game better. I'd like to hear, Owen, you talk about playing with a shot clock.
I mean, I'm all for the shot clock. Our offense, we're pretty fast-paced. We're pressing you full court, and we're looking to get shots. And, we don't want to we don't want to slow the ball down. So we're trying to get on fast breaks, and that's kind of what our team is, and that's what we're going to live by. So I'm all for it.
You guys shoot it in 7 seconds. Do you want to? Would you like to play with one if you could?
Like Coach Kaufman was saying, it really wouldn't affect us. We play super fast. That's how it goes. So, yeah, probably wouldn't affect us. But it's something that I see being there in the future and could grow basketball too. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, coaches, we've gone from a 8-team district to now you're in a 4-team district. Has that affected scheduling? What are your general thoughts on that, and how do you think that plays out this season?
It certainly affects scheduling. Obviously, for us being on the 4-team district side, we had 2 or 3 Friday nights in January to have to fill, which was incredibly difficult. I think there's pros and cons to it. In some ways, it allows us to play a longer season and go straight to a region tournament, which I think is what's needed in the state of Tennessee, and we get to be the first to do that. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun and create a lot of excitement. And then also, too, from a postseason standpoint, we don't have teams playing each other 4 times before a sub-state. And so in some ways, the setup of the district allows for better tournament games, which is where fans really pay attention. However, in January and February, there's going to be some nights that aren't as exciting as they were last year. Last year when everybody was together, it was a lot of fun, incredibly big-time environments in every gym. Each game is a dogfight. There's not been a league that I've been a part of where you go into the last week of the season with the potential of a 5-way team tie. And that was our league last year. So there's pros and cons to it. I think, in some ways it's going to help us on the back end getting teams into the state tournament.
Yeah, I like it. I'll be honest, I'm really not excited about a 4-team league, and because of that, having to eliminate a postseason district tournament just because of the number of teams. But when we look at scheduling standpoint, knowing that basketball is a tournament sport, and that's what you're playing for. You're trying to be your best at the end, play your best basketball at the end. For us, we've got some schedule flexibility where we can go to exposure events, and we've got many kids in our program that have aspirations and desires to play at the next level, and we're getting those kids to be able to see the same exposure that they get, maybe on a summer team. So it's really good for us. I like it. I like the fact that I've got some schedule flexibility. I think that's the biggest thing. Our kids are going to take a trip to Atlanta, play against some of the best teams in the country nationally there. We're going to do the same thing in Jacksonville. And then our Hoop Fest event has got 24 girls teams in it, 16 guys teams, and they are some of the best not only in the state of Tennessee, but also in states that touch us.
This is for the players. Talk about what it's like playing for these coaches sitting next to you.
Oh, it's really fun. It's my 4th year with Kaufman. It's his 4th year at Paige too, and it's been a ride with him. He's crazy, but I like it. He gets us all wound up to play our best, and he's a really good coach that makes me want to play hard, and played hard for him and for my team, and so it's been fun. It's been really fun.
Well, this is going to be my 3rd year playing for Paige and Coach Street, and I think what stands out with Coach Street is the way he cares for his players. Checks in with you all the time. You get hurt, he's there. He's just always there for you in the moments that you need. So, that goes to show his character and, how important he is to our program.
Coaches, you guys have put together a pretty extensive post-Christmas tournament. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because that's been mentioned several times by previous programs tonight that are playing in that. So talk about that tournament right after Christmas.
Yeah, really excited to host the Music City Hoop Fest. I think this is just the beginning of a really great event. The last couple of years, we've done it as a classic where you kind of schedule teams against teams or whatnot. This year, we have 24 girls teams, as Coach Kaufman mentioned, and 16 boys teams, all at Paige High School, with a couple of games at Paige Middle School. And it's going to be like on the boys' side, you'll have 2 8-team brackets, and on the girls' side, you'll have 3 8-team brackets. You know, you have some really great teams coming in on the boys' side, and the girls' side, you have Lipscomb Academy, and you have on the girls' side Bartlett coming. We have some local flavor with us, Nolanville and Ravenwood, there on top of schools like Knox Catholic coming over and Oak Ridge coming, you know, who was a state runner-up last year. So we've got a lot of great teams in both brackets, and if the community wants to come watch great basketball, Paige will be the place to come right after Christmas.
Yeah, on the girls' side, the field is super strong. There's many of the top players in the state will be present, which that in turn fills your baselines up with collegiate scouts and gives opportunities for other players that maybe they didn't see those kids play. But we've got a state champion, and we'll have a nationally ranked team. Staley's Missouri will be there. And you've got Bartlett, who was a state runner-up. There's 4 state runner-ups. There's 6 Final Four teams that are there, and there are 3 or 4 Elite 8 teams, a couple of state champions that are in the field. And instead of us loading up one bracket, we seeded out 12 girls teams, were seeded teams, and we placed those in the 3 brackets. So there are 4 really strong teams in 3 separate brackets, and that should allow for, you know, great semifinals and final games. Also, everybody's getting 3 games, so we're playing the bracket out 1st through 8th. So it gives everybody, you know, a really good go there right before you start into district/region play as you get into January.
All right, this is for coaches and players. We'll start with the coaches. You're about a week and a half into practice. What excites you and what concerns you after these first several practices and a game on deck here in about 5 or 6 days?
Obviously, what excites us is the youth and the potential for growth. You know, our team is not what we're going to be in February right now. We have just a tremendous amount of possibility and growth, you know, and then that would equal our concern. Our concern is youth, right? And the only way to gain experience is to get it. We can't teach experience. And so, you know, who we are in November and December is not who we're going to be in January and February as far as our how we play and how we compete and how polished we are in certain areas. There's going to be a lot of things, if you watch us now, you're going to look at and go, well, have y'all ever worked on that? And the answer is probably no, because we don't learn unless we actually go through it. And so our schedule's set up to really challenge us and to help us grow as quickly as possible, so we can be a team that's ready to go come into February.
Yeah, I think our group, I think the thing that's most exciting for me is, you know, the opportunity that's in front of us. You know, while we maybe don't have the cohesion, having a huge senior class coming back, you have Amia Hoffman, who started 95% of our games, that is going to be a great player for us. You have a Maisie Bushman sitting beside us, who was the most improved kid in our program this summer, and embracing, you know, now a senior role. And so watching our kids grow into roles, I think that's really the thing that gets me most excited. We've got a bunch of kids that I think are bought in. And when you have bought-in kids that have toughness, I think those things, you know, they bode themselves well. We got a group that has great chemistry. They love each other. They play hard for each other. And, you know, I think, you know, when you do that, and, you know, and I've got great assistant coaches as well. Dr. Arnold is an absolute, I would call Dr. Arnold the opposite of me. And, you know, when you have those, you've got kind of a Batman Robin. And we have a great female assistant in Coach Wiley, and she does such a good job with our girls. She's such a role model. She's tough but fair. And, you know, you add that into some of the younger kids that we'll see on the floor. We've got 6-foot sophomores that are going to be playing a lot of minutes for us, and Kimber Jewett and Kate Delata. We have a sophomore point guard who received an offer this summer. So there's lots of potential and possibilities. And then we've got lots of different matchups and lineups we can play. So we've talked more about, you know, this group having understanding that we have players and not starters. And I think that's the most important thing. And if kids can be, if we can get our kids to understand that concept and be selfless, that, hey, you know what, I may not be a starter right now, but I'm going to play the same minutes as someone else. Those kids are, those are the things that you get that sends you from good to great. We've got a senior that's going to be coming off the bench a lot of the time that has worked her tail off to knock down shots. Why? Because we need you to knock down shots this year. And so instead of embracing, I think I'm just going to be this, she's chose to attack maybe a weakness and make it a strength. And I think that thing permeates through our program. So I'll be honest with you. I'm excited about our group. I tell them all the time, I just love them. I love what they're about, and I'm so excited to start this year's journey with them.
I'm pretty excited about the potential this team has. To start off the year, sophomores, juniors, freshmen, seniors, it's a wide age gap of playing. But and also we're missing 2 football guys, Matt Glee and Drew Rempel, which are going to be major factors to our team. But I would say some of our concerns would be the immaturity and not enough experience yet. Just we got to get games going under our belt to finally kind of get established. But I'm really excited. I think we got a lot of unique talent that we can put together and make some noise in the district.
Yeah, this last week and a half of practice has been super fun. It's really exciting. We have Lily Espelette back. She's going to UT Martin, like Coach Hoffman said, and she's going to be a really big weapon for us this season, along with Mia Hotman. She's one of our best downhill drivers, so it's really fun just going to see what we do. We also travel like a college team. We're going to Jacksonville in 2 weeks, and we're going to North Carolina, Atlanta, so it's really going to give us all of that time together to spend, to get to know each other more on and off the court, so I'm really excited for the season.
All right, great job. That's going to wrap it up for the Paige Patriots. Hope you guys have a great season. All right, next up we have the Summit Spartans. The girls are led by Coach Donald George, and with him he's got Bridget Ali, senior Bridget Ali, and the boys are led by Coach Thad Burgess in his 3rd year, and he's joined by junior forward Joel Covertson. That's wrong.
Oscar Anderson.
All right, my apologies. He's with senior Oscar Anderson. All right, coaches, we'll open it up with an opening statement, and then we will have some questions. Coach?
Good evening. My name's Coach George, and this will be my 2nd year at Summit High School, and looking forward to my 2nd year there. I'm really excited with the returning girls and the new girls that we have coming in. A lot of changes within the district. but we're looking forward to having a great season.
There we go. Just the coaches first. Yeah, Thad Burgess. I'm the boys basketball coach. 3rd year at Summit. A few years before that, but we won't get into all that. But excited to be here with our guys and coaching the girls and everybody else. So we're excited to talk and let y'all find out a little bit about the Summit basketball program.
All right, we'll open it up for some questions.
Well, Chip Cirillo, Williamson, seen for both coaches, how many starters returning? How do you feel like you guys will do in the district this year?
We've got 3 starters from last year returning. Looking forward to that. And as far as the district, I think we're going to be competitive in the district and looking very forward to it.
We returned 1, so we're not starting over. I feel like it's kind of crazy. I'm saying that, but we're deeper this year than we were last year. So we've got 11 new guys. I say that haven't played any very many minutes for us. We did have a transfer come in. But the whole purpose of our basketball program has been to get to the point we are now, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to make sure Oscar was with us tonight. We're at the point now that we feel like we can just kind of rebuild and we'll keep going every year. We kind of set the standard that we're looking for, and so we've got some depth this year. We'll be able to play, I think, a few more folks than we did last year, but we got the 1, and then we got to move in, and then we'll share the rest of the minutes with the rest of the guys. We know we're in the best district in the state. There's no doubt about that. So it's a challenge, of course, every night. But that's what makes it fun, and that's what makes our guys want to work harder, and as coaches, just to be a part of all this.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question's for Bridget. Bridget, you had plenty of experience starting as a guard on this team. How has that experience helped you, and does it help to have a sister that's also played in Williamson County?
I think the experience has definitely helped me. I learned from a very young age, starting freshman year, to control not being nervous and being able to be a leader from a very young age. My sister kind of paved the way for me, but we're 2 very different players. And overall, I'm just very excited to start my senior year, and I think it's going to be a great season.
This year, how do you feel like that's an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think it's an advantage, especially for the seniors, getting to lead the younger people this year, building for the future, but also letting them play and help us out, try to win some more games. Get some scoring off the bench this year would be huge.
Brad DeShield, Dash to Sports, voice of Independence Summit Athletics, did Independence for a long time. Coach, last year, I mean, you had some shooters last year, and Marty Phillips, you lost Marty, and like you say, you graduated a lot of seniors. What is the key when you get that? You said I was looking at your roster this year, and it looks like you've got a good mix. Like you've got some seniors, you got some juniors, you've also got some young sophomores. What is it the key when you get a whole new mix like that? It's not like you can go to the portal and bring guys in. Like the Oklahoma coach, he's got a whole new team, and they're all portal guys, in college. But in high school, it's not. What is the key to getting that team to play together as a unit?
Well, I think probably the biggest key that we had last year leading into this year, I know Oscar and Ace and Charlie, a couple of them out there, they joined us. They played JV last year most of the year, but about halfway through, I guess, with about maybe 10 games left, I brought them up. They would play on the JV, then they would just come sit. And I wanted them in the locker room.
Right.
I wanted them to experience that. And it really was probably the best thing we did last year, because when the season got over, Oscar, those other seniors, had been there and seen that and saw what we were trying to get. And so we've kind of built our program on rebounding and playing hard. I know we shot the ball a lot, like you mentioned that, shoot the ball a lot. But we've basically been a team that rebounds hard and played our matchup, has given us chances in games. But the whole key to everything has been these guys that were in that locker room that did not play hardly any minutes, but they saw what was expected. And then when we finished our season, they just carried it on right all the way up through the day.
Yep, and that's key. Oscar, for you, being a team leader this year, it'll be a little different in that your role changes. what do you want to do as one of the team leaders, as a senior? What is it you want to bring to the floor for the younger guys coming in?
Just be vocal, making sure everybody knows what they're doing, keeping their heads up. If they make a mistake, no, it's not the end of the world if you turn the ball over, make a mistake, don't get a rebound. Just build them up, really, especially for the future.
Bridget, same question for you.
Our team has a great atmosphere this year. We're very positive, and I want to continue that. We have a lot of great players. Everybody gets along well, and I think overall what keeps the team great is keeping our heads up, being positive, and having energy every single day on and off the court.
Yep. Coach George, you look like you're pretty deep. I mean, you've got your roster looks deep and that kind of thing. What is it, as you're putting this team together, what is it you want to pull together? Is it the toughness? Is it the grittiness? What is it you want this team to stick to and kind of let that be your MO?
I think really you want them to compete. You want to compete in everything they do, not just looking at the games and waiting to that point to compete, but competing in practice, competing in the drills, having each other's back. But getting that grittiness early will show a lot, and bringing along the new girls, and then having some of the girls that are stepping up more into leadership roles. And I've seen some of that. The girls that may not have been as vocal last year are really sort of taking over that role. And I think that's going to help us go a long way as the season goes along. But really seeing the compete level in practice come up, and it's been a great atmosphere and a good thing to see overall.
All right, coaches, you've gone from an 8-team district a year ago now just to a 4-team district. What are maybe some of the positives, negatives of that, and generally just how do you feel about being in just a 4-team district this year?
I think I think it's kind of mixed. I mean, I like the 8-team district. Of course, you're playing everybody 2 times, but I think that can be a little bit of a grind sometimes as well. I've been around the county long enough that I've sort of seen this go from 8-team to 4-team to 8-team to 4-team. It seems to flip-flop a lot, but at the end of the day, you're really looking at the schedule and the people that are in front of you. You can have your opinions on whether you like something or not, but when it comes down to it, you're looking at those 3-4 teams in your district, and you've got to focus on them, not things that are really at the end of the day out of your control.
Yeah, I really don't see any difference. I mean, I don't feel any different now than I did sitting here last year. You know, those 5 animals on the other side are going to be right there when at the end of the year, we're going to be facing each other one way or the other. We'll do it one time on the other side, then we play each other twice on our side. But at the end, you know, what we're all heading towards, we're all going to be there at this, you know, the same spot, trying to move on. So, you know, it's we don't play them. Maybe, you know, there's a couple of games we won't play them, but we're still. I mean, we're around them. We get to feel. We know the challenge. We know every night what's going to be happening. So, just the same excitement about playing. We're home, and home. Just to get a comfort zone, to get a feel of each other. Of course, we know, you know, what's heading down the road on the other side of Christmas, but we're going to go over to Georgia and play a couple of games, get away from everybody a few days, and then we'll come back and, you know, we're playing some of the same, you know, Shelbyville Central, some of the teams that are going to be very competitive and in some different styles. I made sure that we play some teams that we would see zone, man, maybe athletic, maybe not quite as athletic. Just give us a mixture of those. But I think it was a really important area. We got to have confidence. You know, winning brings confidence. So we're hoping that, you know, we can win some of these games at home and be able to take that when we go on the road and as we get back and, you know, get in the region, play a little bit later in the season.
All right, this is for the coaches and for the players. You're about a week and a half into practice. What have you seen so far that excites you, maybe concerns you, reasons for optimism as you get ready to play for real here in about 5 or 6 days?
Well, I think as I stated before, I think the compete level of the girls has been fantastic. You know, it seems like you start practice, the next thing you know, the season starts. Like gone are the days of the 3-4 weeks workup before a season starts. But we've had a lot of great practices. We've been able to bring in a couple of great assistant coaches that have kind of helped us look at things in a different way. The girls are excited about it. I've been excited about it, and you know, you're just trying to get everything in and trying not to miss any bases. and doing the best you can every single day and looking how did we get better today and thinking about that at the end of practice. What did we do to get a little bit better and a little bit closer to where we want to be.
Yeah, I think it was practice 5. I think we talked about that today. And we as coaches, we get a little frustrated. We scrimmaged last night, and we got a scrimmage against Laverne tomorrow. And you got to be real careful. You don't want to get too down on things because, like I said, we've had 5 practices. So what you're trying to build is a little bit of chemistry. You're trying to maybe play, get some different rotations. Every day in practice, we have a different lineup, so we kind of see that. But we put them in some situations. But again, we got tomorrow, and then we practice Friday, and our season opens on Monday against Fairview. So we're making it a goal. Next Monday is a real deal. So it's been a quick time, but again, that's off-season stuff. I'm big on the mental part, making sure our guys are ready to compete, and that's what we're going to try to do these next couple of days as we head into next week.
I think like Coach George said, we're very competitive in practice, and I think that's one of the most important things that you can have in practice, just making sure everybody's working hard and competing against each other, making it so that during the games it's a similar atmosphere. Like he also said, we have many great assistant coaches. Coach Sierra, for instance, we love her. She's added great points to our offense, and overall I think this season's going to be very exciting and fun.
The biggest takeaway I have is the energy and the chemistry of our team this year. I feel like everyone's really came together. There's no talking behind everyone's backs. There's no talking about the coaches. It's all positive. Of course, Ford coming in helps us a lot, so that's also another positive. And then just the energy of practices.
All right, we'll wrap it up with this one for the players. Are there any games you have circled on your calendar or any players that you're in particular looking forward to playing against this year? Dependence.
Of course, the Indy game is going to be fun, but we play CPA this year. That should be pretty fun, playing some private schools. Going up to Georgia is always fun. Get some new type of basketball up there, so.
Of course, I'm excited for Independence. It's always a really fun rivalry. The atmosphere is crazy. But I think every single team in our district and just in Williamson County has amazing players on every single team. I think that every game is going to be tough, but we just have to take each game at a time. And overall, I'm just excited to play every team.
All right, great job. That's going to wrap it up for the Summit Spartans. Hope you guys have a great season. right, now we have our last team of the night, the Ravenwood Raptors. The girls are led by Coach Andrew James in his 7th season, and he is joined by senior forward Kate Jurowitz. And the boys are led by Coach Chris Hooper in his 1st year, and he's joined by senior forward Brock Wismar. Coaches will have an opening statement, and then we will have some questions.
All right, thank you. It's good to be here. Glad to have Kate here. She's our only senior on the team this year. She's been through a lot with our program, seen it change over the last few years, and now she's the lone senior. She's done a great job leading our girls. She's a great example to them and how she conducts herself. And we are a very young team. We have, like I said, 1 senior. We got 2 juniors. Everyone else is freshmen and sophomores. So we like this group a lot. We are, going to be very young, but I think we're going to be, we're very talented and excited about this season. And we're going to Gatlinburg this weekend for a play date and a little team bonding trip. So it's looking forward to it.
Well, first time up here. Thank you, Coach Whitlock and Wilco, to put this on, and thank the Mojos for being the host. Got senior Brock Wismar here, coming off of a two-game scrimmage here, and so I'm sure he's a little tired. But Brock's one of 9 seniors that we have at Ravenwood. So we are very old, but very young in experience, but is a very talented group. We've got a few transfers coming in from California that are going to get into the mix. We're excited. Brock's been a 4-year varsity player, so it's good. This is going to be his capstone season. Expecting big things out of him. He sort of anchors down the middle for us. Very physical, great rebounder, can score at the rim. His outside jump shot's really coming along well. Him coupled with Isaac Brent, Will McCarter, Matt Nava, Jaden Schrudy, Sam Steppen, Jordan Dreyer, Drew Parker, Danny Brown. All of our seniors should be a really good year. We're looking forward to the region. It's going to be a very competitive region. I think we match up well with the teams that are in there. We're going to play a very physical brand of basketball, try to score at the rim and defend with physicality.
All right, now for the questions.
Chip Cirillo, Williamson. For both players, which opposing player are you most looking forward to going against this year? Somebody on one of your opposing teams that's really good, and you want to see how you guys kind of match up against them?
For us, I would say Paige Morris on Brentwood, just guarding her and shooting. And then Nyla Johnson on the Nolanville team. She's a really good driver. So I think playing both of those teams will be a really good test for us. And I'm just excited to see what we're going to do with all of their talent. And, yeah.
For me, it's probably Chris Johnson over at Nolanville. Big center, really physical and athletic. So looking forward to seeing how we're going to guard that. I think another player is probably Davis Cochran over at Brentwood. Tall kid, really athletic, and can shoot really well. So we're going to have a great matchup there to play against them. Looking forward to that.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for Brock. Brock, you're one of the big-time presence in the post. This is not your first season starting, so how has your game grown and developed in the post?
I've become a lot more comfortable in the post in terms of catching the ball and being willing to go at people and score, not avoiding the contact. And the jump shot coming along and using that as a weapon has been really great as well. And just refining footwork and all that. So.
And then for Kate, like Coach James has already mentioned, your team's really young. How do you hope to grow and mold the underclassmen into expectations for Ravenwood basketball?
I think more so this year than past years it's getting them acclimated with our culture at Ravenwood. And so me and Ashlyn, the junior on the team, we're trying to really get them involved with that and who we are as a team, and just going on team bonding activities like this Gatlinburg trip coming up. We're really excited for that, just to be able to get to know everybody better and to really bond together. So.
Hey, Tyler Palmatier with the Tennessean. For the coaches, the shot clock conversation was tabled 3 years ago. They said they were going to revisit it sometime around this year. What are your thoughts on a shot clock in Tennessee? Do you think it's time to implement one?
For many years, I said we shouldn't have a shot clock, and I would actually be okay with it now. I don't know what's happened. Maybe it's just the style that we like to play. I don't think a shot clock is going to make – the way we want to play, a shot clock's not going to make a whole lot of difference. So, you know, if I'm a losing team in the fourth quarter, I would love to have a shot clock because the teams that hold it drives me insane. On the other end, there are times where we've held it, and we've held it for like 2 minutes, and we ended up winning. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of other states have it. It's probably time for us to do it. I know the issue is getting workers to work it because you got to get a separate person, and you got to pay the money and all that sort of stuff. But I would be fine with it. I'm also fine with how it is right now. So I probably didn't give you a really good answer, but I would be more open to it now than I used to be. So
shot clock it's time. Even though Coach Willock will say this, I watch a ton of tape, and usually a lot of games the shot clock really wouldn't factor in a whole lot. It'll factor in at the end of quarters, and then it'll factor in the fourth quarter, as Coach James was mentioning, because once teams get a lead, they'll take the air out of it, so it makes it hard to come back. But it's time because it'll evolve the coaching aspect of it. You'll start to see the game evolve. You'll start to see teams picking up a little 2-2-1 full court soft pressure just to run 5 to 7 seconds off. Then you're about 28 seconds into a set, then you might see them jump into a zone. You're going to pull it out, trying to milk the clock and get you into situations where your two best players don't have the basketball. So it's going to be a chess match for coaches. Early, the basketball will be ugly. I mean, because you'll have a lot of guys taking shots and poor shots until you get a good feel from the coaches and the players in terms of how to get the ball swung into essentially two-man basketball is what it'll ultimately devolve into, and try to get the ball in your best two players' hands and try to get some going at the rim, under 10 seconds. But it does add a strategic component from the coaches in terms of I won't just sit in a 2-3 zone and let you stand out there and hold it. I'm going to have to be a little bit more dynamic in terms of how we're flipping defenses and who we're guarding, who we're taking away, and trying to keep the ball out of hands like, Nolanville, Scott McKelvey. If you're working with a shot clock, try to keep the ball out of that kid's hands so that he can't create going downhill. So it'll be much more dynamic for the state once they adopt it, and hopefully it'll come in next year.
For the players, it may not be something you ever get to play with in high school, but do you have any thoughts on it? Would you like to play with a shot clock?
Okay. Kind of like what Coach James said this year, we're a more fast-paced team that works really well in transition. So this year I think it could be beneficial for us. I know it's not going to be implemented, but just at the fast pace that we move at, it would work really well for our team. But in past years, I think about it, if we had a shot clock, it would have not gone over so well. So it kind of depends on the year.
I've always wanted a shot clock, just because my favorite thing about basketball is how fast paced it is. So it drew me to it. So a shot clock would be great. It'd keep the intensity and energy throughout the entire game, because when you're down 10, 2 minutes left in the fourth, it's really hard to try and make that energy to come back because they just hold the ball. So,
thank you, guys.
Coaches, you've gone from an 8-team district now down to a 5-team district. Can you talk about your thoughts on that? How's it's impacted scheduling, and what are the pros and cons of being in a smaller district?
Personally, I don't like a 5-team district. I mean, I think we should be 8, because then it leads to conversations like, should we have a district tournament or not, which we're not going to have this year, and I don't like that. But, you know, I mean, I personally think we should go back to 3 classifications, but that's just me. So I like a bigger district, and Coach Hooper, I'm sure, will hit on it too, makes scheduling a lot harder. We've got some holes in schedules that we really struggle to fill, especially, and to me, it doesn't make sense that we got a district that has 4 teams, so all their teams are going to go to region, while we have teams that, like last year, we were 8, so we had to fight it out to go to region. I'm sure there's a reason why it's like this. I just don't understand it. So I would prefer a bigger district personally.
I echo those. You know, the thing TWSAA's got to move away from, going to that 4 classifications, is moving out of a district concept. When they went to 4 classifications, we should have really moved to a region schedule, much like football. And that would have allowed for more teams to participate. And it would have put a little bit more value on the first round of the region. Because right now, as Coach James pointed out, if you have a district tournament, you're either eliminating one team or you're not eliminating anybody else. It weakens the season schedule a little bit. On the flip side, the thing I do like about the smaller district is we have created not necessarily some holes, but some length in the schedule, which has allowed for snow days, so we won't get squeezed into, like we've had a couple of years where we're trying to play 3 or 4 games in a week to get it done before the district tournament. It also allows for us as coaches to really develop our programs and make the season journey a little bit more meaningful for the players by creating some opportunities to not necessarily practice. You know, just because you can practice 7 days a week doesn't necessarily mean you need to do it. But maybe, like, we've got 3 current players at the college level that are former Raptors. And so it's going to allow us some time to do some team bonding, go support Jake Mulder at Trevecca, go support DJ Starr at Bethel, and try to travel down and see Rocco Lamuno at Spring Hill. So it's going to create some of those opportunities that the players are going to remember a lot more than they are the wins and the losses and the practice grind. So I do like that aspect of it. But I do think we need to move to a region schedule and get off the districts. And I think we'll see that in the next 3 years. I think you're going to see TWSAA align how the state tournament is played out in the format and go to more of a regional feel as opposed to district region sectionals.
All right, we'll start with the coaches and then the players on this one. You've been practicing for about a week and a half. You're about 6 days away from your first game. What excites you or perhaps concerns you about your team at this point?
Well, for me, with us being really young, and we have a lot of girls returning from last year that were young and are still young, seeing how much they've grown is what I'm looking most forward to. We've seen that in practice in our first week and a half. Me and Kate were just talking. We felt like we had a good practice today, and there's a lot of good things, and just seeing them figure things out, good reads and all that sort of stuff, the development. I'll use Kate since she's up here too. I mean, just seeing her develop, you know, with her driving ability and her post play, scoring left and right and all that sort of stuff. That, to me, and a lot of coaches would say, seeing that development is the most fun and rewarding thing to see, is when they're bought into what you're doing. So I think we're going to be, obviously, we had some struggles last year. I think we're going to be much better this year. And that's what I'm most excited to see is the proof in the games that we play of how much better we've gotten from last year. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm real excited about this group. They are very tight-knit. We've had some guys move in, and so the trepidation I have is I all of a sudden have a lot of options that we didn't have last year. I've told them once, I tell them again, I'm not being held hostage by the bench this year. But the problem with that is sometimes getting rhythm for guys, and so that's going to be a struggle I'm going to have to continue to develop and hone as the season goes on. But I'm extremely excited about the ceiling for this group. I think the floor is the floor. I think we're going to exceed some expectations in terms of our floor. I think our ceiling is going to be whatever these kids make out of it. And the way they fight for each other, the way they pick each other up, the encouragement, the enthusiasm, and the communication is top notch, and it's building upon the legacy Coach Whitlock left us, and we're making it a season to remember. So I'm excited to be part of this journey with these guys. They have the right mindset. They want to do something that this program's never done. They want to leave a legacy at Ravenwood, and I firmly believe these seniors are going to do that. So I'm excited to lead them and share in their accomplishments.
I'm just excited to see how we're going to do this year. I know we've said this a lot, but we're a very young team, but we're also a very competitive team. And every day we go out to practice, it's like a different tryout. The starting lineup is going to be changing this year because there'll be girls that'll come in and come out. But everybody wants to compete for that starting spot and that playing time. And we have a very dedicated team, and so I'm just excited to see how that's going to encourage us going into this season and as we play those difficult teams in our district and region. So,
I mean, I've talked to all the seniors. You know, we're really close, as Coach Hooper said. We're really excited because we know what we want to do. We know we're capable of what we want to do. And that senior mindset of we are playing this last season to leave and set that foundation for the coming players. So we are just we've been itching this entire off season and working towards that really hard. We've all bought into that same goal and mindset that I think is going to take us far. But we're ready.
All right, great job. That's going to wrap it up for the Ravenwood Raptors. Hope you guys have a great season. That's going to conclude Media Day. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Walker Chevrolet and Matthews Team Sports, and additionally Lance West, our media members, and Will Jackson for their efforts tonight.